You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher and Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher and Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
It's 5:08. Skies are clearing. Not sure about the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Mike. Well, you've got a complete closure of the eastbound side of the Chicago Skyway, and this is due to a shooting. It's happened in the last 30 or 40 minutes or so. You cannot get on the eastbound Skyway from the Ryan all the way to the toll plaza near 87th. It's after a shooting. We're told that 2 people have been killed in this incident. The roadway may be closed for a while. Also, the ramp from Stony Island to the eastbound Skyway is closed. Westbound, the Skyway is open. In Harvey, got a fire, 152nd and Lexington. You have some roadwork delays on the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway. It's heavy from past 130th to 115th. 2 left lanes should be reopening soon. Right now it's 21 minutes, 8094 to the Rhine, outbound 5 to 15. Inbound Stevenson has roadwork delays, 355 to Cass. 2 right lanes remain blocked. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Traffic service of Visit Florida. Hidden adventures await at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, Florida's thrill ride leader. From up close animal encounters to family thrills. Start planning your vacation today at buschgardenstampa.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 80. Tonight, cloudy. A shower or thunderstorm around late, a low 67. Tomorrow, breezy with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 90. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 57 at O'Hare, 59 along the lakefront. And your early morning water temperature at Wilmette Harbor, 62. The next news update this morning, 5:30. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, another pencil-necked progressive goes down to an adult who's lived a life.
I was chanting Karen. Karen, Karen, Karen.
Karen Handel handled John Ossoff in the special election for Georgia 6th.
Oh, yeah.
So demoralizing was it for the left that even the New York Times had to say this was a demoralizing victory.
Yeah,
That's how
their
demoralizing as it was.
Did you read their op-ed? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, she won 51-48. Good job. Closer than, well, actually, it wasn't. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was actually, she stretched it out per all the polling going into election night last night. And she didn't mention his name a lot during the campaign, but she certainly did in her victory speech last night.
And a special thanks to the President of the United States of America. But let's not forget our equally great Vice President, Mike Pence.
Yeah, I mean, the assumption among Democrats that Trump is a liability, well, I think they're eating that this morning. Really.
Well,
I mean, it's another wake-up call because this is the most expensive congressional race in U.S. history.
Yeah.
And they lost. So what does that say?
Also, it's worth noting, too, because I know the left is so obsessed with identity politics and for breaking glass ceilings, Karen Handel becomes the first female Republican elected to Congress from the state of Georgia.
Oh.
So isn't that something that should be celebrated? It's not even reported on. Interesting, isn't it? So that it just so
She's
you
the first female
yeah
congressional member from the state of Georgia.
yeah just so you
Wow.
understand, just so you
Okay.
understand. This just another moment to file under Democrat hypocrisy. They only care about firsts or pioneering spirits when it is advance of their ideological agenda. Do you understand? They're not actually interested in opening doors to people unless the people walking through those doors share their left-wing philosophy. I don't know how many times we have to highlight this point, but this provides yet another opportunity. Now,
Well, do you think Democrats could ever, regain their footing in Trumpville, in Trumpland?
well, it's certainly possible. Look, this is a district, let's remember, that, yes, Tom Price, the now HHS secretary, he won 60-40. Mitt Romney won 60-40. But it's kind of it's a more effete Republican district. It's not the district that Newt Gingrich ran in, right?
Okay.
It's been remapped a couple
So
times since then.
Trump barely won in that district, right?
He did, it's important to note, he lost every county to Rubio in the
Oh.
primary, and he ran in the general election, well behind Johnny Isakson, who's the Republican member of the Senate that was up in 2016. I'm talking about, depending on the area of the county, anywhere from 15 to 20 points, so well behind Isakson in that district. But, it basically was that kind of base Trump vote. And I think some Republicans who said, I may not like Trump, but I'm not willing to go Bernie Sanders over the issue.
Right.
And ultimately that delivered, I think, a little bit bigger margin of victory than than the polls had anticipated.
Well, who also delivered was John Ossoff. He delivered his concession speech last night.
This is not the outcome any of us were hoping for. But this is the beginning of something much bigger than us. It's extraordinary what you have done here. The fight goes on.
Did you hear that? 2018, John. 2018.
Well, come back. We'll beat you in
Shouldn't he
2018
move
too.
into the district too?
Just
a suggestion.
it wasn't
Minor detail.
He was raised in the district.
Okay.
It was an issue. We've seen this happen before.
Yeah,
Melissa
all right.
Bean, when she was a congressman here, she didn't live in the district. Roscom, I think, initially didn't live in the district
and
when he
then
ran
moved.
for Congress. So it's an issue, but it's not a huge issue. The one thing, though, and by the way, Mick Mulvaney, who's the director of OMB, was a congressman from South Carolina, special election for his congressional seat
For
yesterday.
the Frank Underwood seat.
And it was held by Republicans, but it was close. And so I think Dan McLaughlin, he had a write-up in the National Review about the race, and he concludes this: Republicans can breathe easier tonight. Karen Handel will be a good congresswoman, and the Democrats haven't proven yet that they can win in 2018. But the fight for the House isn't over yet. In democracy, it never is. These are traditionally two very safe Republican seats that were two very close races. So do Democrats have to, as you mentioned, figure out a way to make incursions into that Trump vote, to bring blue-collar, in particular blue-collar white ethnic voters back? They do. I don't know how they're going to do that. But let's not be too... let's not gloat too much if we're on the R side or the conservative side of the line, because there's a lot of fight left, and a lot of it will be predicated on what Trump and the Republicans, congressional Republicans, are able to accomplish between now and next November. But Larry Sabato from University of Virginia was on with your girlfriend, Don Lemon, and he offered this analysis.
The bigger picture to me is that the 2018 congressional elections are a year and a half away, and a million things can happen that can change the picture. But for Democrats, obviously, it's pretty depressing. That's the word I've seen on Twitter more than any other from Democrats about the result. I think if Democrats learn a lesson from this election, it's that the euphoria that they felt for the last several months as Donald Trump has fallen in the polls, and they began to believe that this would be not easy, but doable to take over the House of Representatives and eventually replace Donald Trump. That euphoria is gone, and it's replaced with reality. And the reality is it's going to be a long twilight struggle, day in and day out, if they're going to be able to retake the House and eventually defeat Donald Trump. It won't be easy. It may not be possible, but it certainly won't be easy.
And the left has a lot of post-mortem and gnashing of teeth over this. Matt Iglesias in Vox, just to give you one example, he's talking about the need for Democrats to have a positive economic vision. He's recognizing and quoting other Democrat operatives on issues like replacing Obamacare or improving Obamacare from the Democrat perspective, but they never got together to offer a specific vision for how Obamacare could be improved such that it would address, and it can't be because it's centrally planned, but from their perspective, such that it would address things like skyrocketing premiums. They never proposed an alternative or an enhancement of Obamacare from their perspective. They just spent all their time attacking Republicans for their replacement proposal. And so now Iglesias and some of the kind of the other new leftists, the deep thinkers on the left as they fashion themselves, they're talking more about a substantive policy vision this morning.
Well, one thing, I honestly think that commercial, that campaign ad that highlighted this Scalise shooting, I think helped Karen Handel. I mean, you have that. You have Kathy Griffin with the bloody Trump head. I mean, all of that, I think, played into the hate from the left, and people were sick of it. I mean, NBC News last night, I don't know if you watched the report, they had me sold that Jon Ossoff was going to win. They talked to Republican women in the suburban area who were sick of it, who sat the last election out and who are definitely motivated this time, and they all voted for Jon Ossoff. And I was so shocked to find out he didn't win, because the way they sold it was that he was already in office. Yeah. It was amazing.
I'll tell you what, you make two great points. One is on the coverage from the D.C. press corps. They were promoting what they wanted to see happen, of course. But I got an email yesterday, an advert, a solicitation for the New York Times. Journalism without agendas. Get the facts that tell the whole story. The Times sale from $8 a month. Limited time left. Journalism without agendas. So either they're advertising a guilty conscience or the marketing department doesn't read the New York Times.
Right.
I don't know which, but that's one piece. And the other thing I think is the bigger problem for Democrats is that they have been captured by the hateful left. That is that is who leads that party. And you have a lot of people out there that may not like Trump, may have qualms about Trump, about congressional Republicans for policy reasons, for personality reasons, but they look over at the other side, or they hear what's going on their kids' college campus. They see on TV what happened at Berkeley or what happened at Middlebury, or
what's going on at Evergreen State.
What's going on at Evergreen State. They see and hear about the reactions to the news of Otto Warmbier's death. And they say, you know what? I'm not necessarily all the way with Republicans or totally aligned because I think the president's a little goofy, or I'm not on board with every piece of their agenda, but I am not going to be party to this culture of hate. I think that's a huge thing, and I think you're right that it plays into a race like that where you have an upper income Republicans that ultimately decided the race. And, Trump's not my guy exactly, but they are certainly not. I can't fall in with that crowd. Mark on the South Side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. With the analysis everybody is going to put out there today with last night's election, it's simple math. The Republican vote that was cast April 18th in the primary is almost exactly the vote that Karen Handel got last night. And the vote that he got of 48.6 in the April primary is the same vote he got last night, 48.1. So I just think it boils down to simple math. I mean, I don't think, other than a major blunder by Karen Handel between April 18th and last night, I don't think there was any way she could lose that election. And one quick point, I'm a Republican. We're supposed to be on the conservative side. We could have avoided all the money that was spent April 18th until last night if they would have united behind Karen Handel on April 18th. Everybody knew going in she was going to be the biggest vote getter for the Republicans. She should have gone one-on-one with him that night, and this all would have been avoided because, you know what, the outcome would have been the same.
All right, thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Mark. Jordan in Forest Park.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I think that maybe the Democrats might learn a lesson here that, perhaps the public, for example, might want the Democrats to actually vote for an Affordable Care Act replacement plan, like might come out of the Senate. And maybe they might actually win re-election because they did something useful to the American public. So maybe this will put a little pressure on them. And, Trump's been asking for the Democrats to at least vote for something to replace this, and they're all saying, no, we can't do that. Maybe they'll rethink that.
That's really an interesting point. Thanks for the call, Jordan. Because Mitch McConnell unveils the Senate Republican replace plan tomorrow. And thinking about those Democrat senators in red states that are targeted for elimination, think about somebody next door like Joe Donnelly in Indiana. Does this put increased pressure on him to cross over, to break from his party and support a replacement, particularly something that's likely to be even more watered down than the House version? That will be interesting to watch. That's a good point.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, more of your phone calls. 312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.Pro answer line. Here all morning, actually all day, all 24/7. Forecast for today, it's going to be partly sunny, a high of 80 degrees, a little cooler near the lake. Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm around late, and tomorrow it's going to be breezy with intervals of clouds and sunshine. Warmer, though, a high of 90.
Cooler by the Lake is the name of my forthcoming autobiography.
Oh, that's right. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. There's a double homicide on the Skyway, right, Jim Telemonte?
That's right, Amy and Dan. Good morning. And the eastbound Skyway is closed all the way from the Ryan Expressway to the toll plaza. The shooting happened near that toll plaza, so not far from 87th Street. The eastbound Skyway shut down. There's no getting to the eastbound Skyway from the Ryans. You can head down to 8094. You can take 95th through the southeast side of Chicago to get the Indiana toll road if you're headed that way. And yes, we're told that a man and woman have been killed in this incident, which happened, less than an hour ago. And the eastbound Skyway shut down. Westbound, it is open, and the eastbound side is open past the toll plazas, including the big bridge heading toward northwest Indiana. You have a crash on 394 southbound, south of 8094. A taxi cab left the roadway and up in the ditch. On Stevenson, heavy Sister Road at Kedzie. The earlier roadwork delays near Cass pretty much gone. 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Rhine, a little heavy entering downtown. I-57, 17 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop 422. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews with policymakers and opinion leaders, man on the street interviews to see if people can follow the logic on a range of public policy issues. We just rolled out a new series, Heart of the Matter, which features professional women talking about the pressing public policy issues of the day, colleague to colleague.
I want you to know that 2 people congratulated me on my new show. I said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, aren't you doing Heart of the Matter show now? And I said, no, I'm not. That's Dan's stuff.
Perhaps professional women.
That's so rude.
No, I'm kidding. You're welcome to come on as a special guest of Heart of the Matter. The ladies
we can get to the heart of the matter.
I'm sure the ladies would love to have you.
I'll see if I can fit it in my schedule.
Yeah, of course. Now I get the diss. I know. You use a friend as the cutout to express your desire to be on the show. Then I ask you and you do the whole, I don't know if I have time for that.
We'll see.
All right. Well, you're going to have to sign up at upstream-ideas.com to see if Amy Jacobson makes an appearance on Heart of the Matter.
Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual saved me almost $800 when I switched my home and auto insurance.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, I got the perfect coverage for us, and I didn't have to worry about skimping on Emma's party.
Oh, well, that explains the
Pony! Best birthday ever!
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
His eyes darted between the blue wire and then the red wire. Back to the blue, back to the red. A bead of sweat dropped from his brow to his hand, which grasped a pair of pliers. He took a deep breath, steadied himself, and cut both with one swift squeeze of his tool. The boy screamed as the doctor pried the braces from his teeth.
If this 20-second performance made you feel something, imagine what an entire Audible book can do. Visit Audible.com to start your free 30-day trial.
Continental Audi of Naperville is out to sell 100 new Audis in June. So now is the time for you to take advantage of some great deals. Continental Audi of Naperville has incredible offers on new Audis. And Continental Audi delivers a different kind of buying experience. Straight talk and no hassle. And a huge selection of Audis to choose. You must visit ContinentalAudi.com or go to Continental Audi in Naperville now to check out these deals on an A3, A4, Q3, Q5, and even the all-new Q7. If you thought of driving an Audi, now is the time to take a test drive. Feel the difference in an Audi performance and experience the difference in an exceptional dealer. Don't miss this. Now is the time for you to buy or lease your new Audi from Continental Audi of Naperville. We're out to sell 100 new Audis in June, so hurry. ContinentalAudi.com or Continental Audi in Naperville on Aurora Avenue at Ogden Avenue. And experience the Continental Audi difference, where smiles are standard equipment. ContinentalAudi.com.
As the head of procurement for my company, I was sweating a big deadline and got tired of calling my printer for updates, only to hear excuses. So I heard about McGrath Printing Custom Apparel and gave them a call. I got A+ service, and they beat the deadline. McGrath Printing really saved my...
I'm a supply chain manager for a Fortune 500 company, and we had $50,000 of product waiting for instruction manuals because our printer couldn't deliver on time. One call to McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, and they saved my...
At McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, they've been saving companies for over 35 years. Give them a call at 815-356-5246. That's 815-356-5246. And mention code AM560 and get 20% off your first order. So remember,
go to where the pros go. McGrathPrint.com. McGrathPrint.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we'll take one more call on Handel before we talk about the end of the state of Illinois. Sharon in Itasca, you got 30 seconds.
Thanks for taking my call. I understand that this new congresswoman now is a bit of a rhino. We need as many conservatives as we can because of the huge debt that this country's in, not to mention Illinois. But if we don't do something, we've got to go back to free market principles. I don't want a new plan coming out of the Republican House saying we're going to retain 80 to 85% of Obamacare, and here it is, and federalism is ruling the day, and they're lying to our faces. Mitch McConnell has not been that reliable. We need conservative principles back in there because that's the only thing that's going to get us out of this mess nationally and within our own state.
All right, very good. Thanks for the call, Sharon.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Governor Rauner calls for compromise in his speech yesterday.
You say compromise, I use another C word, capitulation, at 5:37.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
59 degrees in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Authorities are investigating a deadly shooting this morning on the Chicago Skyway. You've heard Jim Talamonte give us the traffic details and some other details about this developing story. Chicago Fire also says 2 were shot and killed this morning near 88th Street. Eastbound lanes are shut down as crews clear that scene. The suspect in an explosion at a Brussels train station is dead after a bombing attempt that Belgian authorities are calling a terror attack.
There were no other victims. This incident is considered as a terrorist attack.
Belgian troops took out the suspect. No one else was hurt at the city's central train station. Hurricane season is underway. The U.S. has a new director of FEMA. The Senate easily confirming Brock Long yesterday, 95-4. Gulf Coast residents are being told to prepare for stormy weather as Tropical Storm Cindy nears. President Trump celebrating Republican victories in 2 special elections last night. Trump congratulating Karen Handel for winning Georgia 6.
To the Jon Ossoff supporters, know that my commitments, they extend to every one of you as well. We may have some different beliefs, but we are part of one community.
Trump also congratulated Ralph Norman for his big victory in South Carolina 5. President Trump heads to Iowa today with Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Amazon testing a new service that lets customers try on clothes in the comfort of your own home. Folks can have 3 to 15 items shipped to their home free. Amazon will then charge them for whatever they don't send back. Uber CEO and co-founder Travis Kalanick is stepping down. The head of the ride-hailing service was already on a leave of absence following several scandals rushing through that company. Chicago coming off a span of just over 24 hours with a person shot in the city, the lull ending last night when a man was hit by gunfire in the 3600 block of West 30th Street. Governor Rauner urging lawmakers to end the unnecessary budget battle that's gripped Illinois for 2 years, asking the Democrat-controlled legislature to back a plan introduced by Republicans last week. A Des Plaines man is accused of murdering his girlfriend over the weekend in Bensonville. Victor Tornez Sanchez appeared in DuPage County Court yesterday, ordered held on $2.5 million bond. Cubs blank the Padres 4-0. Sox get out homered by the Twins 9-7 at Target Field. The news, a service of the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. Want a place that nurtures the growth of you and your child? At Chicago Early Learning Preschool programs, parents and kids flourish. Chicago Early Learning Centers offering safe, quality early education programs at 800 locations. ChicagoEarlyLearning.org, 312-229-1690. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants the GOP to rally together.
You may be the first president in history to go down because you can't stop inappropriately talking about an investigation.
Well, no, he may be the first president to go down because he can't get fellow Republicans like you to support him. I don't know why this is so hard for Republicans to muster at least the pretense of support for a president who is under siege by the American media.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
They're here, circling over your head, and they're tracking you down. You feel overwhelmed, like you can't escape. You need a solution to get your back taxes filed, to put your life back on track. You need someone who can keep the vultures at bay and work directly with the IRS to leverage every opportunity to settle your tax debt. Mary Karpowitz, CEO of Comprehensive Tax Solutions, is licensed to represent you before the IRS. Don't let the IRS threaten you. You should never need to speak to them directly. Mary does that for you. Comprehensive Tax Solutions will help you settle your entire IRS tax debt for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Comprehensive Tax Solutions, family owned in Chicagoland, can be a lifesaver for you. Call 708-478-6770, 708-478-6770, or go to resolveyourtaxproblems.com. Call 708-478-6770 now.
5:35. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the eastbound side of the Chicago Skyway remains closed from the Ryan Expressway to the Toll Plaza. Near the scene of that shooting earlier this morning. And the westbound side is open, but there's no getting to the eastbound Skyway from Ryan or anywhere else till you get past that Toll Plaza. 8094 is one alternate, Lakeshore Drive or 95th through the southeast side. The westbound Skyway's open. Harvey got a fire, 152nd and Lexington. Edens is fine, Kennedy as well. Inbound Eisenhower, heavy 25th Avenue to 1st Avenue, 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Inbound Stevenson, 42 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 27 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 426. Traffic, service of Visit Florida. Hidden adventures await at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, Florida's thrill ride leader. From up-close animal encounters to family thrills, start planning your vacation today at buschgardenstampa.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Partly sunny, high near 80 today. Currently, we have 57 at O'Hare, 59 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Breaking news as it happens, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Heard each and every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Did you watch or listen to Governor Rauner's very brief statement, statewide address in advance of the special legislative session, which starts today, trying to frame that session that is scheduled to run 10 days, at least as many as 10 days as is required to forge a compromise budget proposal for him to consider and ultimately sign. Did you watch it? Did you listen to it? What did you think of what he had to say? What did you wish he would have said? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Amy, your review?
I have to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised watching, I have appointment television where I watch local news at 6 o'clock at night. And Greg Wall, came over from Fox, he's the new political reporter over there at ABC7, they threw it live to Governor Rauner and they let him speak. And I thought that was a wonderful opportunity for most of us. I mean, I would have looked online and watched it anyway, but for people to see and to hear the governor and actually what's going on. I mean, it was 3 minutes, 15 seconds long, but it sounds like he was extending the olive branch, that he wants to come together, have a compromise to get this done.
Compromise or capitulation? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Which C word? Compromise or get your mind out of the gutter, Amy. Capitulation, the other C word. Compromise or capitulation? The Wall Street Journal has weighed in.
Well, that's all that matters then. Who cares what we think, Illinoisans? What does the Wall Street Journal think?
The op-ed that the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal promulgated is entitled "The Illinois Capitulation." On Tuesday evening, the governor with the worst job in America explained why he and his fellow Republicans have offered to raise taxes for the sake of ending a multi-year budget impasse with Democrats. He said he'll accept a 4-year increase in the flat state income tax to 4.95% from the current 3.75%. It's a 32% increase. Expand the sales tax and implement a cable and satellite TV tax. This is a political defeat by any definition, since Mr. Rauner campaigned on lowering the income tax to 3%, not on restoring the rate to what close to what it was under the last Democrat governor. That's true. Mr. Rauner is also proposing freezing property taxes, says he'll deal with reducing the state's budget. The deal would deal with reducing the state's backlog of unpaid bills by at least $4 billion. But a freeze isn't a reduction from already sky-high property levies, and the current backlog of unpaid bills is $15 billion. Those are things I've been saying for months and months on end, particularly in the property tax issue. The bigger problem is that in his proposed deal, there is not included most of the reforms Illinois desperately needs to compete with neighboring states and repair its fiscal house. That's the opinion of the Wall Street Journal. Do you agree with it? I do. I absolutely do. Here's what I think Rauner is, the play he's making.
Okay. Do you want to hear the play first?
No, I want to hear what
you want to hear. Yeah.
No, let's hear from Rauner.
Here.
We've asked the General Assembly to come together in a special session for the next 10 days, not as Democrats and Republicans, but as leaders who share bipartisan concern for our state's future. We must agree on a balanced budget plan and get it to my desk before the end of the state's fiscal year, 1 week from Friday. Failure to act is not an option. Failure to act may cause permanent damage to our state that will take years to overcome.
Don't we already have permanent damage to our state?
That will take years to overcome? Yes, we do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the damage is done.
Generations. And so here's the thing about that. Here's the problem with that.
Yes, tell me.
He's playing the inside game. This post-partisan pap, not as Democrats and Republicans. He's talking to the General Assembly. He should be talking to the Illinois electorate. He should be talking to Illinois families.
Okay.
He's playing the inside game, trying to woo Pauls and elites who are stakeholders in the status quo. That is a dead bang loser. That is not how he won in 2014. That is not the path to his reelection. And that is not, as a consequence, the path to structural reform of this state that does what the Wall Street Journal suggests we need to do, and everybody understands we need to do, right our fiscal house and start making Illinois more competitive with our Midwest neighbors, much less the more competitive in the global economy.
Yeah, but they scare you. I mean, if nothing's done by the end of the month, June 30th, construction projects are going to stop. We're going to lose the Powerball, the Mega Millions.
Those are all public sector crises.
And what about funding for the schools?
What about private sector crises? What about people who cannot afford a 32% increase in their personal income tax, or the small business owner operator who can't afford a 20% increase in his corporate tax on top of it? And meanwhile, property taxes continue to skyrocket. Oh, and the sales tax, which is a regressive tax, and the cable TV tax.
Right, and the cloud storage tax, and the soda tax.
And for those, and this is what the data distills, for those who say, I could afford it, I'm open to the idea, there is still great resistance. Why? Because the political ruling class in this state has destroyed its credibility with the electorate. Even if I was open to the idea of sending more of my money to Springfield, to state government, to address some of these infirmities and these crises that have been outlined, I don't trust them to spend my money how they say they're going to spend it, because they have not been spending my money how they say they're going to spend it for generations. So why would I allow them to continue to fleece me and scam me on top of fleecing me? No. Figure it out. So the question really comes down to, what do you tell your state reps? What's your message to the governor? Should it be a no tax, all cuts budget? Should it be some combination of the two? Should it be what the Senate Democrats passed last month, which is just tax increases? It's just a revenue problem in Illinois. We don't need to deal with the spend problem. We'll continue passing unconstitutionally unbalanced, I should mention, state budgets in perpetuity like we have been for the last 2 decades. And, we'll just push off all of this ugliness for one more year while the ugliness mounts. That's the choice. So what do you want to do? Well, here, Greg Harris, state rep from Chicago, who's been like Madigan's phony baloney point man on budget negotiations, just
he's
another
his
puppet.
Spokesperson. That's what I've always thought of him as. That's what he is.
He's something else as well as his spokesperson. Here's Greg Harris with the official Democrat response, also quite succinct.
Governor, your actions speak louder than your campaign rhetoric. After more than 700 days of blocking compromise, it's up to you to prove that you are finally ready to put the needs of Illinois families ahead of political games and start working in good faith on a budget.
So Greg Harris is a member of the House. Senate Democrats passed the budget. They have a supermajority. House Democrats and Speaker Madigan have a majority. They could also pass a budget and send it to the governor's desk. They could have for all 700 days that Greg Harris just referenced. They didn't. Why? Because Madigan isn't interested in and this is where all the action is, by the way.
Right.
So, don't worry about the Senate. All the action is in the House, and all the action is with one man, House Speaker Mike Madigan. And he is not interested in a budget. That's the only good news for Rauner with his compromise and these spineless Republicans. Durkin and Radonio. If they were any weaker, they would not have the capacity to stand upright. Here's the only good. The only good news is Madigan isn't interested in a budget.
To vilify Governor Rauner, or what?
Exactly.
To make him look like the bad guy.
He wants to take this to 18. Now, if you could get all these, the one caveat is if all these Republicans are going to fold, as is their inclination often in this state, and support massive tax increases, then Madigan has his political cover. He may do it. And if Rauner does it, then he's done. So this is an interesting development. If Rauner would have taken the position of no on structural tax increases, and I'm not even going to open that possibility until I get permanent property tax relief, for example, and term limits was his other must-have. Fine, throw in term limits too. Not even going to open the discussion on revenue until I at least get those two things. He spent the last 2 years negotiating against himself. He's down to these two things. If he had taken that position, then it sends a signal to Madigan that Republicans, the governor's going to veto this budget. Republicans are not going to cave. He's going to have to hold them together at least to get to 60%, which is required now that we're in special session, now that we're past May 30. And so that would have given him options here and would have put him in a stronger position with the people that are going to vote for him or against him come November of 2018. Now what he's done is he opens the possibility that if Madigan does move this, Republicans will be with him. The governor will sign it. The water will be muddied. Things will get worse for working families and entrepreneurial capitalists in Illinois. More and more of them will leave.
You're making me want to leave. Do you know I have angst now because of you and all this property tax?
There's no moral high ground. There's no moral high ground for Republicans on the tax and spend issue because they've capitulated. And J.B. Pritzker or whatever fungible Democrat ultimately ends up as their nominee will be the next governor. And then you'll probably have Democrat majorities for another decade too. That's how important this is.
We stand a lot to lose.
That's how important this is. That there is no way forward through capitulating to the same way of doing things that got us here. I don't understand why that's so complicated. And I don't think it's very complicated to message either. By the way, just on the optics of the messaging, did you watch it or did you listen to it?
No, I watched it. What, in the old Capitol building, no reporters were allowed in? I liked it. You didn't like it?
It reminded me of, I felt like Winston Smith or John Hurt playing Winston Smith in 1984 watching something from Ingsoc. This guy standing alone in a dark room. I thought it was bizarre. I didn't think the optics were good at all. I thought it was coming from Mr. Burns' mansion. I just don't understand. I don't really believe this is Rauner's position, this compromise.
Okay.
I don't believe this is his position. I think this is a political tack that they're taking, and it's high risk because if Madigan agrees to it, Republicans in the legislature fold, and he signs it, it's over.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
I'm going to sell these bad boys. We're selling all of my pillows. You know why? Because they're the best pillow. I'm addicted to mine. And for the month of June, you'll receive 50% off the 4-pack, not Dan's abs. No, the 4-pack is 2 premium My Pillows and 2 Go Anywhere My Pillows for 50% off. You'll sleep deep and you won't wake up with a stiff neck or headache. You can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need, regardless if you sleep on your back or side or stomach. Always fun to sleep on your stomach. And our friend Mike Lindell makes them right here in America using only American labor. Wash them, dry them. They're hypoallergenic, and you'll get a 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. So do this now. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Amy. Best deal ever, promo code Amy. God bless you. Or call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy. Just do it.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work
14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Could your vitamin and mineral supplements be harming you? Here's the inventor of Texas Superfood, Dennis Black.
Most adults take supplements hoping to improve their health, but there's no proof they actually work. While medicines target symptoms, they don't do anything to prevent illness. That's why I created Texas Superfood. It's pure, natural nutrition. Texas Superfood contains antioxidant-rich vitamins and minerals from 55 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables. Count them, 55. Your body needs this. So here's my health promise to you. Switch from your chemistry set vitamins to Texas Superfood for 90 days. Get better energy, more focus, and better sleep, or return it. No questions asked.
Now, when you order 2 bottles of Texas Superfood, you can get the 3rd bottle free, but you must call now. 877-55-TEXAS. That's 877-55-TEXAS. You can also order online at TexasSuperfood.com. Call now, 877-55-TEXAS.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 8,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223. Are you or a family member suffering from addiction or substance abuse? If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, don't know where to go, or have relapsed, Haymarket Center can help. Haymarket Center wants you and your family to know that addiction is a treatable medical condition. With more than 30 comprehensive programs, Haymarket Center has successfully provided addiction solutions for tens of thousands of individuals and their families since 1975. Haymarket Center's comprehensive approach is at the heart of what they do. They address the whole person, including their substance abuse, mental health, and medical care. Their family-based treatment plan allows families to be part of the treatment program so everyone can be part of the recovery. Treatment does work. There can be a solution. Recovery is possible. Haymarket Center's message to you: hope starts here. Call Haymarket Center now for an assessment at 312-CAN-HELP, 312-CAN-HELP, or visit hcenter.org. That's hcenter.org. When a local manufacturer suffered an employee accident at their factory, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to handle crisis communications with the media, the general public, and the manufacturer's employees. When a local unit of government needed assistance in pushing a significant regional highway issue forward, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to manage the public, media, and legislative outreach campaign. When national trade associations and corporations need public outreach and communications campaigns in Illinois and throughout the Midwest, they count on McPherson Public Affairs Group to get the job done. McPherson Public Affairs Group is a full-service public affairs and public relations firm based in LaGrange, Illinois. They'll work with you to create a strategy and see it through. Contact them for a free consultation when you face public relations challenges or need media and spokesperson training for your executive team. 312-882-2473 or on the web at McPhersonPublicAffairs.com.
Sunshine, 59. 5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Chicago Skyway is closed eastbound from the Ryan Expressway to the Toll Plaza after a shooting in the area between 87th and 88th Street. Double fatal incident. No access to the eastbound Skyway from the Ryan, but the westbound Skyway remains open. The Edens is clear. Inbound Kennedy, heavy from the River Road toll to Canfield. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 20. Inbound Eisenhower, delays start at Wolf Road, 40 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 31. Inbound Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, it's fine outbound. Inbound Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, 33 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 30. Eastbound Adams Tollway heavy. From the Tri-State to the Kennedy, traffic is the service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Stores, the easy-to-use AC Pro refrigerant with pressure gauge and quick connect hose is just $33.99. So keep your ride running longer, stronger, and cooler all summer long with AC Pro refrigerant. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine for today with a high of 80. Then tonight, cloudy with a late night shower or thunderstorm. A low 67. Clouds and sun tomorrow, a breezy day. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. High of 90 and a low 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 59 degrees at O'Hare. The news, a service of Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams and save 30% on paints and stains during the Great Summer Painting Party, June 18th through July 4th. Your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint stores right around the corner. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. At 5:59 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Here are the stories we're following. A deadly shooting on the Skyway this morning. 2 were shot and killed near East 88th Street. More details coming up on this with Jim Talamonte in our next hour. Bond denied for a Chicago man accused of killing his 3-year-old daughter over the weekend on the southwest side. And Governor Bruce Rauner is urging lawmakers to end the unnecessary budget crisis that's gripped the state of Illinois for 2 years. Cubs blank the Padres. White Sox suffer a loss to the Twins. More Dan and Amy after Fox News. WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
Republicans win twice. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Special thanks to the President of the United States of America.
Karen Handel won the special election in Georgia. Ralph Norman was victorious in South Carolina.
What Washington desperately needs now are citizens legislators.
The president congratulated both in tweets. Handel's race was very closely watched and the most expensive race for a House seat ever.
She became the first Republican woman from the state of Georgia who is sent to Congress. Some $50 million spent by both sides, most of that money coming from outside. And a lot of people viewed this as possibly a referendum on the Trump administration.
Mark Teichner with Fox 5 TV in Alpharetta, Georgia. Her Majesty has gone to Parliament in Britain, but without her prince. Fox's Simon Owens live in London.
Dave, Queen Elizabeth opening a new session of Britain's Parliament, outlining lawmakers' plans.
My government's priority is to secure the best possible deal as the country leaves the European Union.
Also promising a counter-terrorism review, but there was no mention of President Trump paying a state visit to the UK. An invitation was issued in January, but there's been speculation here that it may not happen in the face of opposition among the British public. And the Queen attending without Prince Philip, the 96-year-old hospitalised with an infection. Dave?
Simon, a tropical storm is moving through the Gulf of Mexico.
Should move inland somewhere near the border of either southwest Louisiana or over northeastern Texas tomorrow.
Richard Pash at the National Hurricane Center. Cindy's full of rain. As much as a foot could fall in areas from Texas to Florida's Panhandle, possibly causing floods. The man who founded Uber has been driven out. CEO Travis Kalanick stepped down. He was already on leave amid criticism of his management style. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
According to the forecast, it's going to be a long, hot summer.
Russian collusion. James Comey.
Obstruction of justice. Impeachment. White House leaks. Jeff Sessions. Climate change. Islamic terrorism. Vladimir Putin.
Join AM 560's Joe Walsh for a very special event on Tuesday, August 22nd. It's the Summer of Trump, live at the Bolingbrook Golf Club, hosted by Joe Walsh and featuring Hugh Hewitt and Guy Benson. Tickets are available now at 560theanswer.com/summer. That's 560theanswer.com/summer.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A couple of announcements we mentioned. We should mention again, Mitch McConnell announcing that the Senate Republican plan to replace Obamacare will be unveiled tomorrow. This morning, the FBI is holding a press conference to announce the results of its investigation into last week's attempted mass assassination of Republican members of Congress and staffers. We'll update, or I'm sure if it happens after a show, Mike Gallagher or Ben Sprague. So we'll update that information as it becomes available from the FBI. And this, Amy, O.J. Simpson. Parole hearing date set for July 20th. He could be released as early as October 1st so that he can, go search for the real killers.
Yeah, maybe find a new wife. Oh, too soon. Sorry. You know what? That was...
Yeah,
that was insensitive.
If you
I'm
see
so sorry.
O.J. Simpson's profile on eHarmony or Tinder
or Match,
whatever, you may want to swipe left or right, whichever way you're supposed to swipe. That means you're not interested. Just a suggestion for the ladies out there.
Oh, people will be all over him. Ladies will throw themselves at him just to say they were with O.J. Simpson.
What's wrong with people?
I know. Sad.
Okay, we have some other developments. One is the release of the dash cam video in that Philando Castile shooting death, where the officer who shot Castile to death was acquitted end of last week. We'll get to that in 1 second, but just in the same kind of topic area, Michael Brown's family reached a settlement approved by a federal judge yesterday in the wrongful death lawsuit the parents filed. Against
the Ferguson Police Department?
Against the city of Ferguson. Yeah.
Why would they give them any amount of money? I mean,
it's a great
question.
The
police officer, Darren Wilson, was not even charged.
He was cleared.
He was cleared of first-degree murder, second-degree. He was cleared completely.
He was cleared of wrongdoing, period, much less capital offense or murder charge. Never charged, right? Cleared of wrongdoing.
There was no narrative of the hands up, don't shoot. His hands were not up. He was not shot in the chest. He was shot in the chest, not in the back.
All the evidence suggests that he was the aggressor, from the convenience store to the confrontation with Darren Wilson, and yet the city is going to pay out the family.
Oh, does it say how much money?
And it's not disclosed.
Darn it.
All right.
I hate when they do that. I bet it's in the millions.
And they planted a tree down there in his honor. Remember that?
Yeah. I went down to that neighborhood. I was freelancing for a bit, and
Let me just remind people of something.
Mm-hmm.
What a society extols, it begets. What you honor, you get more of. So just think about that in consideration of honoring Michael Brown. I mean, I'm sorry he's dead. I don't want anybody to be dead, but he's dead as a result of the actions he took.
Well, what about all the business owners? I mean, there are so many charred out buildings in Ferguson. They had a really cute downtown area, and half of the buildings were destroyed. What about their rights? What about their funding? What about, because are they going to rebuild?
They're not the victims. Michael Brown's the victim.
Michael Brown was the aggressor.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, that's the takeaway. Is that you want people who complain about the justice system, as you mentioned, black business owners who had their businesses looted and burned down by rioters who were rioting against police because of something Michael Brown initiated. Is that justice? Philando Castile.
Philando Castile. All right, so a year ago, St. Anthony, Minnesota police officer Geronimo Yanez pulled over Philando Castile. We all know, that he was found not guilty last week, but now this new dash cam footage has come out, and it's completely changed my opinion about this case. Take a listen.
Well, sir. Good. How are you? Good. The reason I pulled you over, your brake lights are out. So you only have one active brake light, and that's going to be your passenger side one. Your third brake light, which is up here on top, and then this one back here, is going to be out. You have your license and insurance? I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me. Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out. You just killed my boy. Don't pull it out. Don't move. Oh man, I can't. Don't move. Don't move. Oh my God, I'm shaking. Don't move. Don't move, baby. Code 3. Get the baby girl out of here. Don't move. Babe, please. 6921, give up. Back here, code 3. Shots fired. Medics, code 3.
It's a hard 10-minute video to watch, but again, they pulled him over for a taillight that was out, and I thought the driver, Philando Castile, was very calm and said, "I just need to let you know, sir." He was very polite, "Sir, I do have to tell you, I have a firearm." And within 40 seconds, he's dead. I mean, excessive force. I think involuntary manslaughter. I'd like to retry him again after watching that video.
Well, you can't because he was acquitted. It wasn't a mistrial. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, that's the turnkey.pro text line. And here's the thing. I mean, just trying to break this down and in the moment, but
I know
this is a tough one. And you hear the officer. I mean, he uses the F word over and over again. He's like, he almost gets emotional after he did it. It wasn't like he was looking to do that. He was distraught after it.
Right. And here, I mean,
that doesn't confer responsibility or the lack of responsibility, but I just want to point that out. But there's a couple of things that happen. One, he gives him two orders. One is after
Castile says that he has a firearm.
Correct. Give me your driver's license and insurance. That's one order. And two is don't reach for it. Right. Don't reach for the gun. Don't pull out the gun.
But he's asking him for his license and insurance.
Right.
And then telling him not to reach for it. But
right.
Castile, according to his girlfriend, who then Facebook Lived after the shooting, said that all he was doing was what you said, and that's reaching for his wallet to get his driver's license and insurance card.
Now, that's disputed by the St. Anthony police, right? The report is that the officer, Yanez, thought he was making a reaching motion that was for something much bigger than a wallet.
Right. Here he is. All right. So right after it happened, the magnitude of what he just did started sinking in.
Right? Dude, you're right. You're not hitting any area. Oh, I'm not. Walk back here. He just controlled everybody. Walk back here.
He's crying.
Yeah, I got it.
It's almost too painful to watch. But the supervisor then showed up and asked him, all right, calm down. Are you okay physically? You're not injured? And tell me what happened.
He was sitting in the car, seatbelted. I told him, that's your license. And then told me he has a firearm. I told him not to reach for it. And when he went down to grab, I told him not to reach for it. And then he kept it right there. And I told him to take his hands off of it. And then he had his grip a lot wider than a wallet.
Okay.
And I don't know where the gun was. He didn't tell me where the gun was.
Okay.
And then it was just getting hanky. He was just staring straight ahead, and then I was getting nervous. And then I told him, I know. I told him to get his hand off his gun.
Okay. Okay. Is everybody?
And the 4-year-old girl in the back seat, she is let out of the car and she runs into the arms of another police officer, his partner,
who was on the passenger side. Yeah.
I mean,
so here's the thing. A couple of things. One, just for additional contextual factors.
Mm-hmm.
One is Yanez thought he may be a robber, a burglar, somebody that had robbed a convenience store that they were looking for. Kind of fit the profile.
Yeah, and he covered that store robbery. So
that was one issue. So that's in his mind. The other issue is he smelled marijuana when he walked up to the car. So that's just a secondary issue.
But would he?
Well, I mean,
would he have shot him if he was African American? Would he have shot him if he was white? I mean, I think race plays a part in it, and I hate to say that, and I'm going to get lambasted right now, but if he was a white guy, I don't think he would have shot him. I think he'd still be alive.
Well,
312-642-5600.
Based on what?
Well, because he said
Just
the look in
your
his eye.
intuition?
Well, what he said to the supervisor, the way he looked, that look in his eye.
No, not the way he looked.
He was looking straight ahead.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with his physical appearance. That has to do with his behavior.
No, because he wasn't making eye contact with the police officer.
So the one thing I'm a bit confused about, apparently the jury wasn't, was when he talked about don't take it out, don't reach for it, whatever. And you just heard Yana say to that supervisory officer that he was still reaching for it. He was making a motion bigger than a wallet. I didn't know where the gun was. So I was trying to understand if Castile was pulling out the gun to place it to say, here's my gun, just so you know. I told you I'm armed. Here's the gun. So it was in plain sight and the officer could see it while he also got his license. The argument is made, and it's been, and this is not, Republican, Democrat.
No.
This is, there's a piece of National Review, too, who say this was a miscarriage of justice. So the argument is made that the officer, Yanez, gave him two orders. One was license and insurance.
Yeah.
And the other was don't reach for the gun after that was disclosed. And all Castile was doing was following those two orders, and the officer got jumpy for whatever reason, and what happened.
Well, Geronimo Yanez, although he's been acquitted or found not guilty, he has lost his job as a police officer, and right now they're working on a settlement agreement between the police department and his union.
I will say also, it's been
so he's never going to go back to be a police officer.
It's been interesting. You have gun rights advocates, black gun rights advocates that are suggesting, as a black man who owns a weapon legally, as a law-abiding citizen, as a lawful right to carry license holder, I'm a little bit afraid now because Castile did the right thing in disclosing that he had a firearm, and so do police need to understand? This is coming from a pro-Second Amendment group. One of its spokespeople said, do police need to understand that black men have Second Amendment rights as well? That may be taking it a bit too far, but you could understand the concern when the proper disclosure was made, and then this whole question of whether he was reaching for the gun or not. Boy, it's hard to know. The only thing I would say to that is the officer did give him the orders to stop reaching. And so if an officer says stop reaching, whatever you're reaching for, even though they said I'm not reaching for it, right?
Right.
Stop reaching. Okay, look, my hands are back on the wheel or up at my shoulders or whatever. I'm not reaching for anything. this is where my license and insurance is located. I'm just going to you tell me what you want me to do in terms of how you want me to get my license and insurance.
Well, when the police officer took the stand in his own defense, he was, visibly shaking. He was crying, and he said that he thought he was going to die, that his life was in jeopardy, and that is why he fired 7 shots, 7 rounds.
Well, the number of rounds is irrelevant.
Well, there was a 4-year-old girl in the back seat, and they're trying to make an issue of that she could have been harmed. And
well, it's possible, but he's, if you believe that the officer felt that his life was in jeopardy, then he discharges his firearm to stop the threat. Like this whole kind of 1 round, 2 round, 3 rounds, how many rounds is it? That's such a specious argument that's often raised in these cases.
they bring it. Yeah, Laquan McDonald. How many rounds?
It's the much more important decision. The much more important discussion is the decision to use lethal force in the first place. That's really the crux of this.
Lucky he's not in jail. I think.
Okay.
Got off.
Charles on the north side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. How are you?
Morning.
I was calling to address Amy's comment about would he have shot him if he was white. We don't know, obviously, whether race played a part for this particular officer. And I know that as a black man that sometimes it does, but I never hear people comment that what the police see plays a part in it. So we say he may have done it because of race, and we instantly go to that person is a racist, as opposed to, you work your job every day 5, 6, 7 years. Most of the criminals you see are black. And like you say, this person supposedly looks like somebody. So sometimes I know when I get followed in a store, I don't look at the racist who thinks I'm going to steal. I think about all the people who stole things before that make them think that. So we have to look at that as well.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the
Thanks,
call,
Charles.
Appreciate it.
Looks like a good family man taking care of his kids this morning.
Yeah, I heard that. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Morning, Danny. How are you doing this morning?
Morning.
Well, I wanted to comment. I live in Texas, and obviously Texas is a very big pro-gun state.
We've heard.
I've been pulled over a couple times. I've put my hands on the steering wheel. I've had my weapons in the vehicle with me. When an officer comes up to the car, I let him know. I'm like, sir, I have weapons in the car. He tells me to keep my hands straight. Don't fidget, don't move, and I do exactly what he says. And I've never been shot. A lot of my friends that are in the Marine Corps, they have weapons as well in different states, and they've been pulled over plenty of times. They've never been shot. It's not an issue with race. It's not an issue with anything. It's an issue with, you got to understand where these police officers are coming from. How many times have we looked at videos on YouTube, on Facebook, where an officer goes to pull somebody over and he's shot in the face, or he's being shot at for no reason.
Yeah.
Just unprovoked, and he's shot at. People need to understand that they got to put themselves in these police officers' positions. It's a difficult job. We don't think it is because we're not doing it all the time. It's a very difficult and stressful job. Every day they put on that uniform could be the last day.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand, they don't understand it. They don't get that. I don't think it has nothing to do with race or anything else. I think the gentleman was trying to reach for his license to show the officer, which is a mistake because I know out here in Texas, when you take the classes, they tell you, once that officer comes to the vehicle, don't make any moves, don't act fidgety, keep your hands up, turn your car off, and just stay calm.
Thanks for the call, Lewis. I mean, first of all, I think my sense of this is that Philando Castillo was it was tragic that he was not reaching for his gun. That's my sense of it. So this is such a terrible case. Lewis is right. I was always taught, hey, cop pulls you over 10 and 2, and just wait. Just wait there. Hello, officer, and then
you ask them, "What would you like me to get my license and registration out?" That's what I do, and I put my hands on the dashboard.
Yeah, either way, or
that hoopty ride of mine, it looks sinister.
Well, right, you've got that gangster mobile. But yeah, you wait for instructions from the officer, and if you make a move and he says stop doing that, then you stop doing that. I've been pulled over with a gun in the car. Now,
how do you tell them?
Yeah, I tell them. But the difference is it was, in a case. And so I have a gun, officer, I have a gun in the car. I have a right to carry permit. You can see it right there. It's on the floor in a case. And you're like, okay, well, just don't make a move for it. I'm like, I won't.
Right.
And then whatever, he gave me my traffic ticket and I moved on. So this is.
I got a text message from a
terrible
law
case.
enforcement officer saying, Amy, there's also a lack of experience in a little town that plays a big part.
Yeah. Okay.
Training, it could be.
Okay. Bob and Waukegan.
Yeah, this is going to make a great training film at the expense of somebody's life. Now that it's already done, we can Monday morning quarterback it in good form because now we know what to do. But if you're driving your car and you've got a gun, once you tell the officer you got a gun in the car, the officers just tell you to keep your damn hands on the steering wheel so I can see them, and ask you to get out of the car and tell him where the gun is, because they could have gotten him out of the car, and they could have got her out of the car, and he could have told them where the wallet and the gun was, and then he wouldn't have had to make any movements, which was it's crazy to be moving like that when you got people with guns pulled anyway. I mean, in Waukegan the other night, I thought I was going to get shot. So we had an altercation across the street where some guy pulled a gun on another guy, and I had seven police cruisers in front of my house. And after it was all over and there were only 2 cruisers went out, it was 2 o'clock in the morning on Father's Day, I was the one who called the police on the altercation. And so I went out and I had my cell phone and I had a flashlight in the same hand, and I thought to myself, my God, this could look like a gun. So when I walked up to the cruisers, I put my damn hands above my head. Good. When I was walking up, and the female officer said, there's a guy behind you, and the other officer turned around really quick. I had my hands over my head before I even got there. So, you got to be smart in these situations or you're going to get killed.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Candace in DuPage.
Amy, I took this class for Elmhurst. It's the Police Citizens Academy. It was very cool. I have to say they do an amazing job. But we had to do this exercise. It was down in the range room where they dress up like, some vagabond, whatever, and start reaching into their pockets, and you have a gun. That is the scariest thing because you realize the split-second decisions that they have to make. And when the guy started messing in his pocket, I shot him twice. And it's shocking. You have rubber casings. I'm just telling you, everybody who lives in a suburb and they offer that class, you should take it because it's free and it's amazing. You learn so much about what the police do on a daily basis. It's incredible. I have the utmost respect for Elmhurst Police.
All right. Thanks for the call, Candace Tackleberry.
Yeah, don't mess with Candace.
Itchy trigger finger, that one.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former Presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants, or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
Hey, how would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there working for you in the background to ensure your systems are up and running. Oh, they'll help you over the phone, and they make house calls to your workplace if necessary. And Turnkey IT doesn't wait for an emergency. They work hard to take preventative measures to keep your network secured, backed up, and running nonstop. Turnkey IT can protect your network with the turnkey experience, where everything is included: Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. So find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
Yes, indeed. Summertime. Another hot one. Wait, gonna be a little bit cooler today. Back to hot. Gonna be windy. Maybe a thunderstorm mixed in for good measure. Up and down and up and down. The climate is always changing. Your company's heating and cooling system really gets a workout in Chicagoland. Be ready for anything this summer. Call Air Comfort and get your business's cooling system tuned up and running at peak performance. You see, the Air Comfort problem solvers can find small problems before they become big problems. Plus, proper maintenance will keep your system from wasting energy and money. Air Comfort will make sure your equipment is clean and obstacle-free. And if your chiller is about to or has stopped working, they can install temporary solutions to keep you cool while the long-term fixes are put in place. The key to keep your climate from changing is preventative maintenance, and Air Comfort can help. Schedule a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system today. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, since we were talking about race and justice with respect to Philando Castile's shooting death in Minnesota, quick little discussion of race and poverty. Not here. Morgan Freeman and your girlfriend, Don Lemon.
She gets all the good interviews. But that's good. It's a good get.
Race and poverty. Yeah, to get God. That's a pretty good get. If you get God.
Can't go wrong with God.
Race and poverty, are they connected? Don Lemon shocked to find that Morgan Freeman doesn't think so.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't or
Today?
cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. You and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I had a long haul from where I came from to here, but here we are.
Right.
So the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and here we sit at the dining table.
But it's hard to, when you say that to some people, because they say, oh, there you go with a pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing, and, you're just being respectable. Not everybody can do that.
Well, everybody can.
Wow. I love it.
More Morgan Freeman, less Black Lives Matter. Better America.
Wow. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of Black Lives Matter and the unhinged left, is the culture of hate propagated by the Democratic Party precluding them from ever winning another election? We'll ask Roger Kimball, editor of the New Criterion, at 6:36.
And later, the new Ken doll, please. The man bun, we're going to cut that off. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
63 degrees in Chicago. We have mostly sunny skies this morning in your Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Authorities investigating a deadly shooting on the Chicago Skyway this morning. 2 were shot and killed near 88th Street. Eastbound lanes are shut down as crews begin to clear that scene. Republican Karen Handel headed to Washington. Big winner of Georgia's special House election. In her victory speech last night, Handel reached out to voters who were backing progressive Democrat Jon Ossoff.
I stand before you extraordinarily humbled and honored at the tremendous privilege and high responsibility that you and the people across the 6th District have given to me to represent you.
Handel promised to work hard to earn the confidence of everyone in the Georgia's 6th District. The seat will be filled by Handel. It was vacated by Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price. People living along the Gulf Coast being warned to prepare for stormy weather. Tropical storm Cindy bearing down on the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, and Alabama. Uber CEO and co-founder Travis Kalanick resigning. The head of the ride-hailing service was already on leave of absence following several scandals, including allegations of rampant sexual harassment throughout the company. White House spokesman Sean Spicer says the president clearly wants a health care bill that has heart.
He believes that health care is something that is near and dear to so many families and individuals. He made it clear from the beginning that that was one of his priorities.
Spicer yesterday during a White House briefing was asked about reports of Trump saying the Senate Republican health care bill needs more heart. 2 young children remain hospitalized following separate shootings in Gary, Indiana. Police say the 8-year-old Harmony Harton was shot Monday, while in her grandparents' home several hours later, 9-year-old Devon Marshall was shot inside a home in the 4300 block of West 19th. Governor Bruce Rauner urging lawmakers to end the unnecessary budget crisis that has gripped the state of Illinois for 2 years, urging Democrats to back a Republican plan introduced by the GOP last week. A Chicago alderman making an urgent request to combat a recent rise in downtown violence. In an email sent out Monday night, Alderman Brendan Riley called for the overnight closure of the Ohio Street underpass beneath Lakeshore Drive. Cubs blank the Padres 4-0. White Sox suffer a 9-7 loss to the Twins in the first of a 3-game set in Minnesota. Dwayne Wade staying put. Wade telling the Bulls he will pick up his $23.8 million player option for next year. The news service of Napa Auto Parts this month at participating Napa stores. Valvoline full synthetic motor oil is on sale for just $5.59 a quart. Take advantage now and protect your engine from the heat all summer long. General States pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes we live in a world of double standards.
If a fanatical Trump supporter had tried to murder as many Democratic congressmen as possible, you think a Nancy Pelosi would get up there and call for unity? I don't. I think she would have gotten up there and said, this is the hate unleashed by this president.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
6:36, let's check out the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Latest on your morning commute, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The eastbound Chicago Skyway remains closed from the Ryan to the Toll Plaza. After that early morning shooting, no access to the eastbound Skyway toll from the Ryan. Eastbound Eden Spur heavy starting around Waukegan Road. The Edens itself is 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 20. Kennedy, 23 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 34. About Isaac Howard. 51 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 40. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Delays on the northbound Tri-State Southwest Highway to the Mile Long Bridge, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue.
Adams Tollway, a little heavy approach to the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway from 22nd to the Tri-State. Eastbound 8094 at Stop and Go I-65 to Ripley. Traffic at the service of Farmers Insurance. It takes more than a roof to make sure your home is covered. Farmers Insurance has over 89 years of knowledge and experience. You can protect what's important to you. Learn more at farmers.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partly sunny today, high near 80. Cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm around late in the overnight, low 67. Currently, we have 59. Next news coming up at 7. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
The hypocrites scatter when I shine the bright light of reason. I'm Larry Elder. Join me tonight at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Talk a little bit about culture here with our forthcoming guest, Roger Kimball, who's the editor of The New Criterion, which is an excellent outlet. I highly recommend. Been reading it for years. On culture, there's a lot of art reviews in there, too. Again, helping to dispel the notion that conservatives are not patrons of and consumers of the arts and the finer things in life. But importantly, culture also includes campus. And Roger Kimball, as an academician, I think will enjoy this. Tucker Carlson cracked the code on what it takes for a leftist to get suspended from a university. This is from a couple of weeks ago. Lisa Durden, who is a professor at Essex College in New York, went on Tucker Carlson's show to explain the blacks-only Memorial Day gathering. Whites are not allowed.
Okay, so this is happening all over now, right?
Yeah.
Not just Evergreen State.
And it's for specific holidays as well as just a general day of absence at Evergreen State. Or, hey, I mean, here, don't forget Oak Park River Forest High School.
Oh, that's right.
Black-only assembly.
I remember that.
That was a couple of years ago. They were forerunners. Get ready.
Well, they wanted a safe space for African-American students.
Right, yeah, in Tony River Forest. Those are not difficult to find. Lisa, get ready for Lisa Durden. Get ready for this. This is a professor at Essex College.
The whole point of Black Lives Matter, one of the points would be to speak out against singling people out on the basis of their race and punishing them for that. Because you can't control what your race is, and yet they seem to be doing that. Explain that to me.
What I say to that is boo, hoo, hoo. You white people are angry because you couldn't use your white privilege card to get invited to the Black Lives Matters All Black Memorial Day celebration. Wow. Let me contextualize that for you. Memorial Day was created by...
I don't want you to... First of all, I don't want you to contextualize.
Right? I need to contextualize it because Memorial Day was created by black former slaves in 1865 to honor those individuals who were Union soldiers who fought and died for our freedom. So Black Lives Matter, in that same vein, decided to get together with black folks.
I'm not going to let you filibuster past my question.
To make sure that black folks were celebrated for being murdered by racist terrorists.
I don't want to shut this down, but I will. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I just have a really simple question for you. If you don't like people excluding others on the basis of their race, and as a society we agree that that's bad. I agree it's bad, you agree it's bad. Then why are you doing it? And why are you defending it now?
White folks crack me up all of a sudden when we want to have one day for black folks to focus on ourselves. But you've been having white days forever. You don't say the words anymore because you know it's politically incorrect. But you've had an all-white Oscars, all these movies with all-white actors, movie after movie after movie, all-white TV shows with white casts over and over and over again. The Bachelorette, it took 11 seasons to a black bachelorette. Are you serious?
Lowest ratings ever, too. Not because of the color of her skin, because of the people on the show.
So would Lisa Durden be happier? Would we have racial harmony in this country if the first season of The Bachelorette had featured a black bachelorette as opposed? It's just, this is an academic. Lisa, didn't hear it from. By the way,
she's a paid professor at Essex University.
She also has her history wrong. David Blight, who was the first historian to suggest that blacks created Memorial Day by honoring war dead in 1860, he admits he has no evidence of that. So she's just. This is just a hot mess. But it goes on. I mean, I got to give you the rest of this.
Oh yeah, I want to hear it.
Just like a wedding where I might say your kids can't bring their badasses in my wedding.
Children are not an ethnic group. Every
it doesn't
person
matter.
in
You're
the world,
discriminating against people with kids. You're saying don't bring your badass kids.
Would it be okay? Yeah, but you see,
and that's
okay, but there are white adults and Asian adults and Hispanic adults. And presumably they're basically the same as black adults, but you don't agree with that.
We have gay pride parades. We have Puerto Rican Day parades. We have all kinds of parades and days that honor individuals. We have Mother's Day. We have Father's Day.
Fathers are allowed to participate
just take your mama out,
I'm not sure you're even capable of having this conversation, so I'm going to end it now. Let me ask you one last. Let me ask you one last question, and be totally honest with this. Do the people in your world, your parents, your siblings, your kids, your friends, do they agree with you on this?
My family respects my right to free speech.
No, don't give me that dumb answer. I mean, do they agree with what you just said, though? Do you know a lot of people who agree with what you just said? Whatever. No one's contesting it.
I'll see you next time on your show. You'll be inviting me on again.
Do you know a lot of people who agree with you?
Tucker, I'm going to see you again in less than a month. Ratings are going up.
I don't even know what you're talking about, and I'm not sure I look forward to it. But thanks for coming on tonight, Lisa.
Oh, he destroyed her.
So she's been suspended.
Oh, because of that interview?
Well, they're not saying it specifically because of that interview, but she reports that the interview, her performance on Tucker Carlson, had been brought up in discussions on campus. I mean, that's part of the discussion you really have to have about college campuses. It's not just the ideology and the totalitarianism, the repression of free expression. It's not just that. It's also the quality of the intellectuals or lack thereof on campus. It's also the quality of the professors that are allegedly educating, young people who are tomorrow's future and all that business. All right, for more on this topic, he's been waiting patiently. We're pleased to be joined by Roger Kimball, editor of the New Criterion, also columnist for PJ Media. Roger, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. What a hilarious, I suppose, but also pathetic.
Well,
morning entertainment you have provided.
Yes, well, but I mean, this is Lisa Durden may be an extreme example. Maybe she's not.
Well, that's the problem. She's not an extreme example. It's an extreme performance, but alas, this kind of pathetic, histrionic nonsense has become the norm on our campuses, and we have to ask ourselves, why are we spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars? I mean, in many elite universities now, in colleges, it costs upwards of $65,000 per year to attend. Why would anyone send their kid to listen to that garbage? I mean, it's pathetic. They're really kind of consciousness-lowering exercises where you send your child off to college in order to have every social, moral, political, religious scruple that you have carefully nurtured since the time the kid was born, extracted from them. These institutions used to be institutions that were whose purpose was to preserve and transmit the values of our civilization. Now it seems they are institutions dedicating to tearing it down. This lady is just one of dozens of examples you could find today. I mean, we think of the videotape that the iPhone video that went viral from Yale a year or so ago, where you have this young student screaming obscenities at the head of her college, and the Charles Murray event at Middlebury where someone was sent to the hospital, and on and on and on. I think it really is time to rethink the nature of our commitment to institutions of so-called higher education.
Well, what is the origin of this? I mean, when did it start, and did social media bring it to light that we know about all these incidents?
Well, I think the quick, incomplete, but not therefore incorrect answer is the 1960s. And in many ways, what we're seeing now is a reprise of what we saw in the late 60s and early 70s, the demonstrations, the adolescent, indeed infantile acting out on the part of the students and some faculty, the posture of cringing cravenness on the part of the administrators. All of this, we've seen this before. And of course, those observers who point out the totalitarian aspect and precursors to this stuff are absolutely right. If you went back to what happened on the streets in Paris during the French Revolution, if you went back to what happened on the streets in Moscow in the Bolshevik Revolution, you would see a lot of parallels. Of course, there's always differences. History doesn't exactly repeat itself. It rhymes. So what we're seeing now has a different flavor. There's no Vietnam War. So now we've manufactured, what's our great boogeyman? Well, Donald Trump. He's somehow illegitimate because the wrong people voted for him. It's completely ridiculous and repellent, but I think it shows a kind of crack in the civil institutions that make civilized life possible. And it's something that can very easily spin out of control, and something we really want to try to get a handle on as quickly as possible, because this genie is very difficult to stuff back in the bottle.
It seems to me that this is what's happened is what Thomas Wolfe documented in Radical Chic, the Black Panther Party at Leonard Bernstein's place, and
absolutely,
no
question.
But this is. I'm sorry.
Got it exactly right. Yeah.
So
you're right.
That and it just seems that that's been scaled. What Shelby Steele wrote about in White Gill, it's just been scaled. Mm-hmm. So now you have this combination of Jacobins that are both students and professors and administrators, and that are just running roughshod over those that just want their cushy jobs or cushy sinecures, like this Bridges guy at Evergreen State, who, when confronted with the accusation that he's a white supremacist, isn't sure if he is or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's the secret the secret poison at the heart of liberalism, and the thing that has to be kept in check is this idea that the fundamental value of liberal ideology is tolerance. But when tolerance is raised to be the sole value, it opens itself up to abuse. So then you get not only tolerance of other points of view, you get tolerance used as a weapon to destroy any other point of view but yours. So that's where we are now. We are at a point where tolerance has been enrolled sort of in this index of impermissible reactionary vices, because the left has discovered that tolerance in the old sense can be used to open up a space for competing ideas, and they don't want that. So it's a very curious situation we're in, and we need to sort of reclaim that older view of liberalism that stressed things like freedom. I mean, listening to that lady talking to Tucker Carlson, the idea that she would be entrusted with educating young people is extraordinary.
Well,
the timbre of her voice, the kinds of the language that she was using, and also the substance of what she was saying. She's basically arguing for a kind of black apartheid. Is that what we want? I don't think so.
Has anyone asked for their money back? I mean, if my son or daughter went to school there, I would want my money back. And maybe someday it's going to be socially acceptable not to go to college if this keeps up. Is that possible?
Oh, I think it's very possible. I think that, Glenn Reynolds has written a book called The New School, which argues that higher education is in a sort of bubble mode at the moment. Partly because of the economics of it. It's, the cost of college has wildly outstripped inflation, the cost of living for decades and decades. But not only because of that, also because of the presence of people like the lady whose clip you just played, like what happened at Evergreen, at Middlebury, at Berkeley, at Yale, and on and on and on. Glenn Reynolds quotes the economist Herb Stein, who says, "That which cannot go on forever won't." And I think you see many sort of stress cracks in the edifice, this huge edifice of the higher education complex, where people are beginning to say, you know what, this doesn't seem like we really want to do this. How can we sort of recover our sanity here? And you see it in state legislatures are cutting back the budgets for schools. Tuitions have been frozen, and in one or two cases dropped. Law schools are having difficulty recruiting people. Many small colleges are having difficulty in recruiting students. So it's not going to happen, tomorrow or next year. But I think you're gradually going to see a reconsideration of the place that the four-year college experience has in our society, and it will probably be a good thing.
What about the arts? There's a little brouhaha going on in Chicago here. Goodman Theater. Hetty Weiss, who's a longtime art and a theater and dance critic for the Chicago Sun-Times, wrote a piece that was critical of a play that involves the plight of black men in America. And it was really, if you read the review, it was just a critique of the quality of the storytelling and the character development. But it has resulted, because this topic is verboten, you cannot comment except positively on this topic. Now, Hetty Weiss, who is a woman of the left, there's a movement afoot in the theater community in Chicago to prevent her from getting free tickets to shows. One performer at Goodman Theater said, "I can't perform for Hetty Weiss if she's in the audience because I wouldn't feel comfortable on stage."
Yeah, well, again, that's a very cognate phenomenon. This is not this tolerance, this attack on free speech, this attack on freedom, an attack on diversity, on genuine diversity, is not confined to college campuses. It, unfortunately, has insinuated itself into the tissues of our culture, and you see it running rampant through the arts community as well as academia. And it's very much worth thinking about this. You can't step foot onto a college campus without finding a plaque announcing their commitment to diversity. But if you scratch that a little bit, you find out what that really means is strict intellectual and moral conformity about every contentious issue. There's only one point of view about, you pick the hot button topic. Any of these topics, there's only one point of view. And by the way, since you mentioned racism, why is it that racism has been elevated to the position of the cardinal sin? What does it even mean? Anything you disagree with is somehow racist. What could that possibly mean? And then you reflect. The term racist was not in the Oxford English Dictionary in its 1970. I'm sorry, it first made its appearance in the Oxford English Dictionary in 1970. What does that mean? Well, it tells me that this is a kind of a crime, a thought crime that is made up. I mean, the terms like racialism and so on were in the dictionary, but not racism. This is a kind of manufactured tort to be used not to illuminate reality, but as an ideological weapon to bludgeon people with whom you disagree or people you simply don't like. And I think that it's having a chilling effect, as they like to say, and not opening up our experience of the world, but shutting it down. It's sort of like that character in that short story by I forget the author, but we have one character who says, "Shut up," he explained. That's really where we are now, and I don't think it's not a position we really want to be in.
He is Roger Kimball, editor of The New Criterion, columnist for PJ Media. Roger, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Iowa's Obamacare exchange asking for massive premium increase Ready for a Ken doll with cornrows? Those stories next.
If you have unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-804-7445. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-804-7445. 800-804-7445. That's 800-804-7445. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
The last healthcare insurer to sell policies under Iowa's Obamacare exchange is asking for a nearly 44% increase in premiums next year for 13,000 Iowans insured through the so-called Affordable Care Act. Economic reports due out today include an update on mortgage applications from the Mortgage Bankers Association and the latest figures on existing home sales. Ride-sharing leader Uber will now let passengers tip its drivers with a simple tap on its app. Uber is trying to show a more human side. Toy maker Mattel is introducing 15 new versions of its Ken doll, best known as the boyfriend of its iconic Barbie line of dolls. The brand new Ken dolls will have different skin tones and hairstyles, including cornrows. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Here are the stories we're following at this hour. Authorities investigating a deadly shooting on the Skyway. Man accused of murdering his girlfriend in Bensonville. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
It was costly, but worth it for Republicans. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Thank you for believing in me.
Karen Handel wins the most expensive race for a House seat ever in Georgia. Fox's Evan Brown is live in Sandy Springs.
Dave, there are reports that nearly $60 million was spent by campaigns and political groups here in the 6th Congressional District, and there were tears when it was learned Democrat John Ossoff would lose to Republican Karen Handel by about 5%. Danielle Gordon even made her kids volunteer for his campaign.
I was hopeful. I truly was. So it's disappointing, but look forward, not back.
Democrats were hoping a win could set the table for midterm victories next year, Dave.
Now, Evan, President Trump tweeted congratulations to Handel and to Ralph Norman, the Republican who won a lesser-watched House race in South Carolina. It hung over her presidential campaign, but Hillary Clinton was never charged in her email scandal, and she's still under investigation. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Clinton and her staffers still have access to sensitive government information, but that could change. The State Department has opened a formal investigation into whether the former Democratic presidential nominee mishandled classified information when she was Secretary of State. Depending on the outcome of the probe, Clinton and her aides could lose their security clearances. The State Department has not said when it began its probe. Dave.
Rachel, it's ceremonial in London. Queen Elizabeth opening the new parliament, promising humility in the Brexit process.
To build the widest possible consensus on the country's future outside the European Union.
Prince Philip was not with her. He's hospitalized with an infection. A surprise retirement in Hollywood. Daniel Day-Lewis says he's done acting.
I drink your
milkshake.
That won him an Oscar for There Will Be Blood. Day-Lewis is the only 3-time Best Actor winner. Fox News, fair and balanced.
62 degrees this morning. It's 7:02 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Nissan of St. Charles is the home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty, and here are the stories we're following this morning. Authorities are investigating a possible murder-suicide on the Chicago Skyway. A man and woman were found shot to death early this morning inside a vehicle near 88th Street. There are several media reports that the man shot and killed the woman before taking his own life. Eastbound lanes of the Skyway have been shut down as crews continue clearing that scene. A manhunt is underway to find 2 armed robbery suspects in Oak Forest. Police say several men robbed a Bolingbrook Verizon store at gunpoint yesterday before fleeing in 2 cars. State troopers spotted one of those vehicles near the Oak Forest Health Center and surrounded the area. 2 suspects have been taken into custody, while 2 others remain on the loose. Fallout continues over an email scandal at the Chicago Water Department. City officials announcing yesterday Department Supervisors Thomas Durkin and John Lee Jr. have been placed on administrative leave pending disciplinary decisions. Bond denied a Chicago man accused of killing his 3-year-old daughter over the weekend on the southwest side. Eduardo Elman appeared in court yesterday on murder charges. Cook County Assistant State's Attorney Jillian Anselmo says Elman beat his daughter unconscious with a belt after refusing to eat.
The defendant attempted to revive her by splashing water on her face in the bathroom, but ultimately called 911 when the victim continued to be unresponsive.
The girl died after she was found unresponsive Sunday inside the family apartment. A Des Plaines man is accused of murdering his girlfriend over the weekend in Bensonville. Victor Tornez Sanchez appeared in DuPage County Court yesterday, held on $2.5 million bond. And an 85-year-old Illinois man convicted of killing his 6 children in 1978 has died. Rockford Register-Star reporting that Simon Nelson was confirmed dead over the weekend in Springfield. The Sangamon County coroner says the preliminary cause of death is natural causes. Nelson had been serving a 100-year prison sentence for the deaths of his children, who ranged in age from 3 to 12. They were killed on January 7, 1978. Nelson was denied parole 18 times since becoming eligible in 1986. Cubs blank the Padres 4-0. White Sox suffer a 9-7 loss to the Twins. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at your participating Napa Auto Parts stores, it's a rugged Bluetooth speaker with 20-hour battery life, $29.99. That's right. Now you can have the freedom to play music wherever you please for just $29.99 while supplies last. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Ever since I was little, I imagined owning a bakery. With hard work, I made it happen. But after this weekend's robbery, I realized that I need to protect my dream with security.
I've got a great answer for you. Alarm Detection Systems, your local family-owned business, understands the threats you might face. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 and find out how we can protect you. License number 127000143.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver, Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
7:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And the Skyway remains closed eastbound from the Ryan to the Toll Plaza after that shooting. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 23. The Kennedy, 41 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 19 from Montrose, 14 in the Express. Outbound 44 minutes to O'Hare. Not Eisenhower, 58 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, and 44 from Manheim. Outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, 30 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-States, though, Cicero to 75th, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Reagan to North Avenue. Reagan to a heavy 31 to 59 and 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorials, though, from before Butterfield to St. Charles, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 80. Tonight, cloudy. A shower or thunderstorm around late, a low 67. Tomorrow, breezy with intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 90. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
64 at O'Hare, 64 along the lakefront. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Severa. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, it turns out that a pencil-necked progressive buoyed by the Democrats' culture of hate, plus $40 million or so was, well, I guess 25 to 30 for him, was not enough to carry Jon Ossoff to victory in yesterday's special election in Georgia. Karen Handel,
oh yeah,
by contrast to Jon Ossoff, an adult who's actually lived a life, she was victorious, and she didn't spend a lot of time talking about Trump in the campaign because he didn't do particularly well in that district, despite it being, a decidedly Republican district. But she did make mention of him in her victory speech.
And a special thanks to the President of the United States of America. But let's not forget our equally great Vice President, Mike Pence.
And then you ask, what should Democrats take away from the most expensive House loss in U.S. history? Well, Jon Ossoff, he's down but not defeated.
This is not the outcome any of us were hoping for. But this is the beginning of something much bigger than us. It's extraordinary what you have done here. The fight goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you hear him shouting, 2018, John?
Yeah.
Don't go. We love you.
Turns out that, I'm trying to find a Hansel and Gretel reference here, a Handel and Gretel. So Handel and Gretel pushed Jon Ossoff into the oven, and Trump is Gretel? I don't know.
Well, the referendum against Trump didn't work.
It's tough to pull a nursery rhyme.
Yes, it is. But
metaphor out. Sorry. Should keep those thoughts to myself. For more thoughts on this race and the policy implications, particularly with the Obamacare replacement offering from Senate Republicans due out tomorrow, we're pleased to be joined by CNN senior economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, former Trump economic advisor, Steve Moore. Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys. By the way, that's 4-0 that Republicans are in these special election districts, and every one of them, Democrats played big time, man. They thought they were going to sweep them, and they lost every single one of them. You don't want to read too much. Actually, I thought Karen Handel was going to lose for sure. I mean, I thought there was so much energy on the left. And that hasn't happened in any of those races, and not the one in Montana, not this one. And I think back in '93, when Clinton took over, and in 2009, when Obama came over, the Republicans won all those special elections. Remember? I mean, there was a kind of a rage on the right. Maybe Donald Trump isn't quite as unpopular as the left thinks he is.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought Karen Handel was going to lose, too, up until the shooting in Alexandria. And somebody used it as a campaign ad, a super PAC did. But there's so much anger on the left, that coupled with the fact with Kathy Griffin holding Trump's bloodied head. I just think that there was so much anger on the left. If I was an undecided voter, I'd say, you know what, which team do I want to be on? Which side do I want to be on?
Amy, I think you've nailed it. I think that there's so much derangement on the left today, what I call anti-Trump derangement, that it has caused a backlash among just sensible people who say, wait a minute, we want to put these morons in charge? I think that, Democrats are going to probably win a lot of seats in 2018. That's normally what happens in an off-year election when you're out of power. But they are their own worst enemies. They don't. First of all, they don't have any agenda of their own. All they can do is run around making these crazy statements about Trump. Look, Trump has made a lot of unforced errors himself that have given material to the left. But, I do CNN now, as you guys know. I mean, all they've covered for the last 3 weeks is Comey and Russia. Almost nothing else besides those two stories, 24/7. I think that the left has to get over themselves. I think they're going to have to come up with some kind of agenda, and we'll see whether that happens. But, they dumped so much money into this race. It was unbelievable for them to. I mean, I'd like to see, Dan, how much money they spent per vote they got.
Yeah, right. I mean, what did you get? About 110,000, 115,000 votes, Ossoff? That's it's a big number. By the way, just to correct the record, and we don't want to get too full of ourselves, it actually turned out the Democrats won the first 7 special elections.
Yeah, there was one.
No, they won 7. They won the first 7 between Obama's inauguration and the 10 midterms where they lost the House.
But these were the races that they poured the most. These were the ones that were most contended, especially the Montana race and the
Georgia
race in Georgia. And they were just high profile. They tried to they nationalized those races, and it didn't work.
Well, there's no question about that. Now the question is, the left is scrambling to come up with an agenda, things like how they would improve Obamacare, since they concede the point that it needs to be improved, but they haven't come up with their unifying idea. You
mean the Democrats or the Republicans?
Well, the Democrats too. I mean, you have Matt Iglesias.
Let me correct you on that one. They do have a unifying idea in health care. You know that.
Single payer.
They want a single payer.
Yeah, but a lot of Democrats aren't willing to say that publicly. So that's not that that doesn't work.
I mean, I think most Americans know that's where they want to go. I mean, that's where look, Dan. I mean, that's that's where Obama wanted to go.
Well, I understand, but that's not what he sold. I mean, I think I'm talking about what they're talking about what they're going to sell. And
because I don't think the American people are that stupid. I think they understand exactly what Democrats want to do. I mean, by the way, Bernie Sanders, who's the de facto leader of the Democratic Party today, has been at least honest. He said, I want the government to run the health care system. And, American people are going to have to decide, because if you put these people in charge, that's exactly where we're going.
I get that.
Yeah, and tomorrow's a big reveal. Mitch McConnell's going to come out and say what's in this new health care plan, because Senator Mike Lee, who's supposed to be part of the process, has seemed to be left out of the process.
Yeah. Now, here's the problem. You're right, Amy. And here's the problem with the Republicans is they don't want to tell the American people what they're for. I mean, I've been talking to some of these Republicans, senators. They say the strategy is, hide this bill from the public, have a quick vote on it before anybody can find out what's in it. I mean, that sounds like what the Democrats did, right?
Right.
Nancy Pelosi saying, well, we'll read the bill after we pass it. So I think Republicans have to articulate to the American people what they're for in healthcare. And how hard is that to do? Saying we want more competition, we want more choice, we want consumers and patients to have affordable care, but through buying insurance across state lines, by having the ability to buy high deductible plans that don't cost a lot. And the other idea I like a lot, I wish Republicans would talk more about, Dan Amy, is this idea of transparency and pricing. Every time you go to a hospital or doctor, those those hospitals and doctors should put right on the, when you walk in, here's what it costs. I mean, what other service do we get in America today where they don't list the prices?
Well, so you've got the Senate's Republicans coming out with their proposal tomorrow, and that perhaps we'll find out, was informed by a letter the Republican Study Committee members sent over from the House, including their must-haves in whatever the Senate puts forward, and then you'll have it reconciled and so forth. But what is this? What is your sense of Paul Ryan and McConnell telegraphing to Paul Ryan what's going to be included and getting to conference and getting this moved to the president's desk before August?
I honestly don't know. I don't think anybody really knows they really have held that hand very close to their vest. I do think it will be, what was the term that Trump used yesterday? We want how did he describe it? A more humane.
Nice.
I forget the term that he used. I think it'll have more protections for people with pre-existing conditions. I think that it'll have some kind of phase in so that people don't immediately lose their benefits under Obamacare. You can't. I mean, that headline of 18 million people losing their health insurance is a killer for Republicans. Although I think it's completely dishonest because the big story that nobody in the media wants to cover is that Obamacare truly is melting down right before our very eyes. In almost every state in the country, first of all, you're seeing dramatically higher prices. Prices of, in some states that have doubled in the last 3 years. I mean, that's not affordable care. The other thing that's happening is insurance companies are just dropping out of the market. So there are a lot of areas in the country now where you don't have any insurance companies left. And you're going to need the government to do it because they've driven up the cost so much that no private company can do it. So I think Republicans have to make this case very clearly to people. Look, maybe some people are going to lose their insurance under our plan, but everybody's going to lose their insurance under Obamacare because there's not going to be any insurance market left. It's truly in a death spiral.
Yesterday, Paul Ryan revealed a new tax plan where he wanted to go from 7 to 3. Talk about that. Yeah, so Larry Kudlow and I and Art Laffer have a statement we're coming out with today that we've been trying to sell to the White House and Republican leaders, and there's been a lot of receptivity. Just keep it simple. They're not gonna overhaul the entire tax system this year. It just isn't going to happen. There's not enough time. There's not enough preparation. The idea that they're going to have rewrite the 60,000-page tax code. As much as I'd love to see that done, I mean, Dan, you've known me for a long time. I mean, this is the issue that makes me tick. So we're just saying, just do three things. Number one, cut the business tax rate, which will bring a lot of jobs back to the United States. We're totally uncompetitive. Number two, do the repatriation. Let companies bring their money back to the United States. We estimate there's about $2 trillion. Apple just a few weeks ago said they have $250 billion. They'll bring back if you just charge them 10% to bring the money back to the United States. And number three, just do something for individuals and families. Just double the what's called the standard deduction. So you put $1,500 more in the pockets of middle class families. If you just did those three things, you've got a bill that you could pass, I think, tomorrow in the House and Senate. I think it would no problem. Now you have to do it with 51 votes, because you're not going to get a single Democrat to vote for it in the Senate. But under these budget rules, you can do that. You can pass this under reconciliation with 51 votes. It will have to be. Now here's the catch: it will have to be temporary. But temporary could be 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I agree with Steve Forbes on this. I mean, since everything in the Washington
everything that's our time in this mortal coil is temporary.
Exactly.
The one thing.
But if they get that done, Dan, that's going to be juice for the economy. That's going to get people back to work. That's going to bring in capital and businesses back to the United States. And then you get the economy growing faster. Because, look, the big story right now in the economy is investors and CEOs and employers are getting nervous about whether this tax cut actually is going to happen. And I would make the case we made, Larry and I, at the White House last week to these guys is, look, if you don't get this done this year, it's going to hurt the economy because there's already this expectation built into the market that this is going to happen, this anticipation effect. If they don't get it done, I think there's going to be a sell-off in the stock market. I think you're going to get employers to pull back. It'll be worse than doing nothing.
He is Steve Moore, 1/3 of the free market junta of Laffer, Moore, and Kudlow. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. As always, appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a great week. Take care.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What's your favorite Ken doll? Have you perused through your options? It's a wussification of America. Today, we're going to have partly sunny skies, a high of 80 degrees. Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm in spots. And then tomorrow, breezy with intervals of clouds and sunshine, warmer, a high near 90. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. How are things going on the Skyway? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, the Skyway remains closed eastbound from the Ryan Expressway to the Toll Plaza after an early morning shooting claimed 2 lives there. The westbound side is open. Edens Expressway. Inbound delays start around 2E. Can get 24 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, now 41 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 44. The Eisenhower is 58 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 46. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. It's 50 minutes outbound. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound, Cicero to 75th. Plainfield Road to 47th. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Reagan Tollway stop and go 31 to 59 at 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial most of the way from 75th to St. Charles. Army Trail toll to 290. Eastbound 8094. Very heavy I-65 to Ripley. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, it's time for a little R&R, courtesy of your good friends over there at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Escape to Wisconsin with an overnight stay package for the Schuster Mansion Bed and Breakfast in Milwaukee. You can actually stay there and go on the Jeffrey Dahmer tour. My friends did it. They loved it. They spent the night in Molly's room, their 2-room luxury suite with a private bath and concierge service that includes breakfast at the Victorian dining room and fresh chocolate chip cookies. Yours for only $85 a couple. That's a $169 value. Need to stay closer to home, but want a night out? So laugh out loud and be a part of the show at Comedy Sports Improv. Tickets normally $44 a pair, but find them at ChicagoRadioDeals.com for only $22. Be sure to get your car ready for summer cruising with a deal from Fuller's Car Wash of Elk Grove Village. A full-service car wash package includes wash, vacuum, windows, dash, an $18 deal for only $10. Fun and adventure waiting for you only at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's stormy and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
All Nissans are created equal. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. At Nissan of St. Charles, we go the extra mile to make sure your happiness lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Every new Nissan or used vehicle we sell comes with our exclusive Lifetime Advantage warranty. So when you get your new Nissan at Nissan of St. Charles, you'll drive with peace of mind knowing it's backed by our exclusive warranty that lasts the lifetime of your vehicle. Be sure to ask about our Lifetime Tire program. And this month only, Nissan of St. Charles is giving away a brand new Nissan Sentra. That's a new 2017 Nissan Sentra. Just visit Nissan of St. Charles by June 24th and register for our giveaway. Or visit nissanofstcharles.com for complete details. Nissan of St. Charles, located on North Avenue in the heart of St. Charles. Or visit us online at nissanofstcharles.com. Nissan of St. Charles. Experience the difference.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of your #1 home mortgage lender, Townstone Financial. I continue to get calls and emails from homeowners whose interest rates are above 4%. Please do yourself a favor. Take 1 minute. Dial 312-896-2111 or go to townstone.com and let us give you some no closing cost refinance options today. No closing costs means no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. Remember, you don't have to restart your mortgage at 30 years or 15. We can customize the payback period. Also, if your home is worth less than what you owe, we We still have the Government HARP program, which will allow you to refinance and save money. And anyone who has an FHA mortgage or one with private mortgage insurance definitely needs to call me now so we can lower your monthly mortgage payments due to the recent increase in home values. The call is free and so is my time, so dial 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and MLS 136639, equal housing lender.
The Grand Victoria Casino Summer Concert Series is back. Tickets are on sale now at gbctickets.com. July 1st, it's the Redneck Woman, Gretchen Wilson Live. With special guests, the Charlie Daniels Band, and a fireworks spectacular after the show. July 22nd, rock out with Grammy winners Three Doors Down and alternative rockers Filter. August 19th, it's the Yestival starring Yes. Fresh from their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Todd Rundgren and Carl Palmer. September 3rd, 80s legend Belinda Carlisle of the Go-Go's. With special guest Smash Mouth playing hit after hit. Don't miss the Grand Victoria Casino Summer Concert Series. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today at gbctickets.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
AM 560, The Answer.
So did you see it? The new Ken dolls that they rolled out yesterday? There's 15 new dolls, enough to make three basketball teams.
Still smooth down there? Is that...
I didn't check what's in the pants, but I know that there's 7 different skin tones, 9 hairstyles, including your favorite and my favorite, the man bun. Oh, I was pulling my eyes out. There's cornrows, too, and there's an array of styles from business casual to athletic chic. But really, I mean, we're stripping men of their masculinity with these new dolls. One looks like he's transitioning, which, whatever. Another one looks like he's going to go maybe, dancing all night at the club. So it's just in response. They're trying to boost sales, but they're shorter. Their arms are thicker. Their thighs are thicker. It's just they're ruining my image of perfect Ken doll. By the way, Ken's last name is Carson. Ken Carson. That's Barbie's boyfriend.
Did not know that. Good to know.
These Barbie dolls these dolls are shorter than they've been.
Men are being stripped of their masculinity another way, too. That's by getting married, it turns out. This study from across the pond, researchers at the University of Bath find that married men taking off the uniform and piling on the weight, starting to look like those Ken dolls you're talking about, getting a little thick. Listen to this. Men are likely to weigh an average of 2.5 stone. Those Brits with their silly measurements. 2.5 stone more than when they said I do. The 2.5, it's like 28 pounds.
20?
No, it's 14 pounds a stone, so that'd be 35 pounds.
35 pounds. So
35 pounds heavier than when they got married.
Because they got married. Well, they let it go because they found the woman of their dreams and they just let it all hang out. They just started eating bonbons.
Because they want to get diabetes and die.
Oh,
that's why.
That's not the reason why.
On average, a married man is 2.5 pounds tubbier than a single man, according to the sample that researchers at the University of Bath.
So does this mean you're not going to marry yourself because you don't want to get fat?
Exactly.
Because I've been waiting to go to your ceremony.
That's the only reason I'm not committing to myself. I don't want to let myself go because I feel like, I've got myself. I just take off the uniform and, enjoy the...
Now, I bet you, Mike Scott, have you gained a pound since you got married?
Yeah, probably.
Well, how long have you been married? 40 years?
40 years.
Well, no, how many years?
32.
Oh, okay, I wasn't that
32.
off.
How many
pounds or stones?
No, please, put it in stones. We're using British measurements.
Put it in stones. What did we say, 13 pounds? 13 or 14 pounds?
That's a stone. He's up a stone since he was married. I mean,
I think that's right.
Where are you hiding it?
Another 10 years, the other 1.5 stones.
Yeah, that's probably right. But I was super skinny and 22
You're still
super skinny and 22 when I was first married. So.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, it's just a warning for guys out there. There
may be something to that research you hold in your hand.
Not willing to commit to themselves.
Well, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is Rauner giving in to tax and spend, borrow and spend Democrats? And why did I feel like Winston Smith watching his address last night That's at 7:37 when State Representative Alan Skillicorn joins us to discuss what will happen in special session.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's a very trim Mike Scott.
I think my wife would say I probably needed to add a stone or two after being married.
Is she talking about weight?
Yes,
Oh.
that's very true. 64 degrees, mostly sunny skies. We are in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Republican Karen Handel, winner of the Georgia special congressional election, hands down in her victory speech last night, reaching out to supporters of her Democratic rival.
The real work will begin, the hard work of governing and doing that in a civil, responsible way that is in the best interest of every Georgian, every 6th District citizen, and every citizen of the United States of America.
And Republicans also fill a seat for the GOP in a special election in South Carolina as well. The suspect in an explosion at a Brussels train station is dead after a bombing attempt that Belgian authorities are calling a major terror attack. Belgian troops took out the suspect. No one else was hurt in the incident at the central train station. Authorities have not released identities but are saying the bomb is far more dangerous than first thought. Family of a black teen killed by a Ferguson, Missouri police officer is settling their case with the city. Details of that agreement reached between the parents of Michael Brown and the city of Ferguson were not made public. Brown was shot and killed by police officer Darren Wilson in August of 2014. House GOP Speaker Paul Ryan says, finally, it is time for some serious tax reform.
President Trump recently introduced a set of principles for tax reform. And right now, we, the House, the Senate, the White House, we're working together to turn them into a transformational tax reform plan.
Ryan in a D.C. speech yesterday. Uber CEO and co-founder Travis Kalanick resigning. The head of the ride-hailing service has already been on leave of absence from that company. Authorities investigating a possible murder-suicide on the Skyway. Men and woman were found shot to death early this morning inside a vehicle near 88th Street. Bond denied for a Chicago man accused of killing his 3-year-old daughter over the weekend. Eduardo Ullman appeared in court yesterday on murder charges in the death of his daughter, Jezebel. Governor Bruce Rauner urging lawmakers to end the unnecessary budget crisis that gripped the state for 2 years. The first-term Republican delivering a brief address from the old state capitol yesterday. The proposal includes a 4-year property tax freeze and term limits. Rauner has been obstructed by legislative Democrats since taking office in 2015. Actor Daniel Day-Lewis retiring from the silver screen. He won Best Actor Oscars for films Lincoln, There Will Be Blood, and My Left Foot. He's 60. Cubs over the Padres 4-0. White Sox suffer a 9-7 loss to the Twins. The news a service of Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams and save 30% on paints and stains during the Great Summer Painting Party, June 18th through July 4th. Your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store is right around the corner. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. 7:34, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Hi, my name's Tim Forehand. I'm a deputy sheriff. In my job, keeping in shape is important. I've tried other products to get my weight down, but nothing has worked like Andro 400. In just 3 months, I've dropped 51 pounds, down from 230 to 179. Plus, the weight's come off in the stomach area. I've gone from a snug 36-inch waist to a 32-inch waist, which I was in high school. I highly recommend the Andro 400 to all my friends.
Guys, are you frustrated because no matter how hard you try, it seems impossible to lose stubborn belly fat? Then discover why thousands of men each month rely on Andro 400. Lose belly fat, gain energy and confidence, and feel great about yourself. Andro 400, the safe, effective, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435.
The performance, conduct, and sustainability of organizations are a direct result of leadership. A leader's impact can be profoundly good or bad.
We've experienced the devastating impact of unethical, selfish, and corrupt leaders. We've also experienced the impact of good and caring leaders whose honesty, integrity, and ethical conduct have created great organizations and a legacy of goodwill. Our challenging times require courageous, values-driven leaders to step up to these challenges. My name is Rich Panico. I am the founder and CEO of Integrated Project Management Company, IPM. I am blessed to lead a wonderful family of talented and caring leaders. Join us as we strive to change the world, one project at a time.
Trust IPM, the consulting industry's leader at executing your critical initiatives. For almost 3 decades, IPM has planned and executed projects in the life sciences, healthcare, consumer, and industrial sectors with honesty and integrity. Visit IPMCinc.com. That's IPMCinc.com. Or call Integrated Project Management's Chicago office at 630-789-8600.
7:37. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Chicago Skyway remains closed eastbound from the Ryan Expressway to the Toll Plaza after that early morning shooting. The Edens runs 22 minutes from Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 26. The Kennedy, 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 51. Bud Eisenhower, 1 hour, Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour and 8 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 56 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound now heavy, Washington to Eau Plaine, and from the Adams Tollway to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound, Cicero to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa stores, Valvoline full synthetic motor oil is on sale for just $5.59 a quart. Take advantage now and protect your engine from the heat all summer long. General States pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Partly sunny and 80 today. Chance of a thunderstorm overnight, low 67. 64 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, listen up.
Shh, listen.
You had Governor Rauner address the state last night in advance of the special session that starts today with the idea of forging a constitutionally balanced budget. Here's what the governor had to say, trying to set the tone for the special session.
We've asked the General Assembly to come together in a special session for the next 10 days, not as Democrats and Republicans, but as leaders who share bipartisan concern for our state's future. We must agree on a balanced budget plan and get it to my desk before the end of the state's fiscal year, 1 week from Friday.
And the Democrat response from State Representative Greg Harris, a Chicago leftist, who's the flack for Madigan on the budget.
Governor, your actions speak louder than your campaign rhetoric. After more than 700 days of blocking compromise, it's up to you to prove that you are finally ready to put the needs of Illinois families ahead of political games and start working in good faith on a budget.
Since the House is where all the action is with House Speaker Mike Madigan, it's worth noting that Mike Madigan had a supermajority and now a majority of Democrats in the House that he controls, and he could have passed a budget at any time that he wanted with a tax increase. But he wants Governor Rauner and Republicans to capitulate and sign on to the tax increase to provide political cover. And that's essentially what Rauner said he was willing to do. I think this is posturing to make it look like he's willing to compromise, to make him look reasonable. And by the way, this is not a reasonable position, but it's to give the appearance that he's trying to be constructive and reasonable in the, how they define being constructive and reasonable, which is going along with the same old tax and spend, borrow and spend policies. But here's the problem. With weak-kneed leadership from Republicans in both the House and the Senate willing to go along with these massive tax hikes for very little in return, and the governor signaling that he would sign it if it got to their desk, you've just provided Madigan the political cover they're betting, at least Governor Rauner, I believe, is betting that Madigan isn't really interested in doing a budget deal and that he'll bear the majority of the responsibility, and thus Democrats, by extension, will bear the majority of the responsibility for not getting a budget deal done while he had appeared reasonable. However, if Madigan calls his bluff, he's in a real trick bag. Because if he signs what Republicans have proposed as their compromise budget with those massive tax increases, he's done, and so are Republicans for another generation. Not kidding.
For 10 more years, you think?
Yeah, I do. And so does the Wall Street Journal in their op-ed today, the Illinois capitulation, discussing this. And you want to know where this leads? You want me to, let's make this concrete.
Yes.
For
us common folk,
who
are taxpayers, who I'm sick of seeing my money go to corrupt politicians.
And Rauner's focus is wrong. It continues to be wrong. He's playing the inside game with appeals to the political ruling class and the elites that prop them up. That is the wrong play. It is a constituency he cannot win. He will win some in the public sector, and that's great. But the play is for the 95% of families that are not in the public sector, that are financing all of this insufficiently, by the way, because you can't keep up with the spend, and receiving very little in return. That is his universe. He should speak to that universe. Yesterday, he spoke to the political class. Chicago Police Pension Fund. This is Chicago Democrats in charge of this state for the last half century with Madigan, in charge of the city of Chicago for 100 years. So let's look at their policies and what they have wrought for the front line of civil society, Chicago police officers. Ready? Yes. Listen up, because it's happening everywhere. And oh, by the way, your homes are being liquidated to try and prop up this Ponzi scheme. And I'm not talking just about the pension systems. This entire state is a Ponzi scheme. Every single thing the political class does in this state is a Ponzi scheme, starting with the pensions. Chicago Police Pension, story that we did and that nobody else does. ChicagoCityWire.com. Chicago's Police Pension Fund will be broke in 2021.
Okay.
End of 2020. 3 years from now, the Chicago Police Pension Fund, according to our analysis, looking at a decade of the fund's mandated financial filings with the Illinois Department of Insurance, by the end of 2020, the Chicago Police Pension Fund will be insolvent. And that includes assuming that the contribution levels continue at their current rate and that you receive that pension fund receives a 5.19% per annum rate of return, which has been the average over the last decade.
So they'd have to come up with a new tax in order to, it's not even possible. So the checks aren't going to come. Pension checks aren't coming.
LGIS, this is the publisher. It's me. I'm the publisher, but it's the news outlet, Chicago City Wire. Looking at the data that they file with the Illinois Department of Insurance, the pension fund. The Policeman's Annuity and Benefit Fund of Chicago will have less than $150 million in assets to pay $928 million promised to 14,133 retirees in 2021. The Chicago, by the way, Chicago Teachers Pension Fund, $10 billion in debt. Two municipal worker funds in Chicago, $11.2 billion, and its fire department, $3.5 billion in debt. They're all going the way of the Chicago Police Pension Fund. They're right behind. This is not way off into the distance. This is right behind. Should put it in perspective, these numbers I'm talking about. The city of Chicago's property tax levy this year was $1.36 billion. $10 billion in debt, $11 billion in debt, $3.5 billion in debt.
Well, who thought that they could give such exorbitant pensions to begin with? I mean, why aren't we similar to other municipalities? I mean, really, I spoke with a huge Bernie Sanders supporter who said when the check doesn't come for my teacher's pension, because he's stuck with CPS for 25 years, could have gone to the suburbs, but wanted that juicy pension. He said when that check doesn't come or the check bounces, I'm going after them. They should go in jail. He wants Emmanuel in jail.
Go ahead.
Mayor Daley in jail.
Good luck.
Blah, blah, blah.
Good luck.
Rod Blagojevich is already in jail.
Too late.
Right.
First, it's not going to happen. They have sovereign immunity. You'll be litigating this for years. Everybody takes a haircut. There are no winners in this story. So you want to get hep to the reality of the math, which, as I've been saying for I don't know, 15 years is inexorable, and now we're here, or we're knocking on the door. What are you going to do? Are you going to revolt against these individuals, or are you going to continue to make excuses?
Vote them out of office.
And relitigate what happened 5 years and 10 years and 15 years and 25 years ago that you can't change? What are you going to do in the present? And that's the question to Rauner, too. Are you going to stoke the revolt, or are you going to capitulate? And if Rauner capitulates and is unwilling to stoke the revolt, what are House and Senate Republicans going to do? Why don't we ask one? He is State Representative Alan Skillicorn, freshman Republican from East Dundee. He joins us now. Representative Skillicorn, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Today's a beautiful day to stop a massive tax hike.
All right. Is that your posture with respect to the compromise budget proposed by your colleagues in the House and Senate Republican caucuses?
Absolutely. Every time I tell a constituent, a friend, a neighbor that this tax hike is not needed, that this tax hike goes too far and there's no reform, they join in with me and they agree that we need to stop this massive tax hike.
Well, the Illinois Policy Institute offered, they have a balanced budget without an increase in spending. And has Governor Rauner...
So do two Republican state senators, McConkey and McCarter.
Really? Well, has Governor Rauner even looked at that? Do you know?
Well, I can't comment on what Governor Rauner has looked at, but I've looked over both Senator McConkey's and Senator McCarter's budget, and I actually use it as a framework to make my own budget. I call it the Right Now budget.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple things that I changed in it. There's a couple other things where I took a Democrat pension reform plan. I put that into it. I swapped some things in with some very modest cuts and real reforms. We don't need to hike taxes, and the math proves it in my Right Now budget.
And so why is it that the leadership of your caucus in the House, Jim Durkin and his leadership team, why are they signing on to this idea of these massive tax increases, 32% increase in personal income tax, increase in corporate, increase extending sales tax to services like dry cleaning, increase cable TV taxes, and in exchange for temporary property tax freeze and I don't know, term limits are the two things the governor wants, but he's not going to get term limits. He probably won't even get the property tax freeze. But why would they sign on even if you could get those two things?
Well, they're certainly not negotiating from a position of strength. I mean, you want to ask for everything, especially now that we're in a special session, which is going to require some Republicans to support this. If we're going to put Republican votes on this, we should start from a starting point of reforms we really want. Now, unfortunately, I think that the governor and leadership, they want to be reasonable. They want to be pragmatic. Unfortunately, though, they're basically starting out at a place that we're not in a position of power. Speaker Madigan is going to take advantage of this. And it really comes down to Speaker Madigan is willing to wear Republicans down. He's wearing Governor Rauner down. Listen, he has been in the state, been in the General Assembly since before you and I were born, Dan. This is a guy that can wait a long time, and he's willing to wait out Governor Rauner.
Not Amy. Amy was born.
Thanks a lot. That's why I'm getting all those advertisements for walk-in tubs.
You graduated from Iowa the year I think Madigan was elected.
Yeah, but Amy doesn't look it, so that's okay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's like
he's willing to grind down Governor Rauner and Republican leadership, and the people get it. Only people who want want a tax hike are special interests.
All right.
The constituents don't want it. Taxpayers don't want it. The people of Illinois do not want these massive tax hikes.
Hey, the old lady has a question for you over here. So what do you think is going to happen? Is this just a dog and pony show, or are you guys actually going to get something done in the next 10 days?
Well, I'll tell you what. My goal is just to stop this massive tax hike. And I'm going to try to get as many Republicans to come along with me as possible. From the standpoint of it depends on what Speaker Madigan wants to do. I mean, I'm going to argue that he needs to put every single Democrat vote on this budget before any Republican should get on it. If he takes his targets and says, I don't want them voting for a tax hike, I don't think any Republican should vote for it. And that's going to be what I'm going to ask my caucus to do. And I'm hoping they'll support me on that.
This is so, it's so sloppy. I mean, just to give people a sense of this, you're getting a trial by fire. This is your first legislative session. But people just don't have a sense of how the sausage is made. As Thomas Jefferson observed, if they did, there'd be more revolutions, and maybe Illinois needs one. But one legislator told me that in the proposed budget, there is pork for his district for an organization that no longer exists. I mean, it's just throwing money willy-nilly everywhere. We'll distribute some cash over here for this guy and some cash over here for that person. They can distribute in the districts. It's just sprinkling the infield for the stakeholders in a kleptocracy. That's the attitude. And this is why even those people who are open-minded to tax increases, as Governor Rauner has been from the beginning, to be fair, but they don't believe that the General Assembly is going to spend the money how they promised to spend the money, because they haven't in the last, 40 years. So why should I be fleeced and then scammed on top of it?
The average Illinoisan knows that this isn't going to work. And when I read that budget, when I read about that $169 million, $250,000 to the Village of St. Charles, $65,000 to a Puerto Rican museum, I almost threw up in my mouth. We have social services that aren't being funded today. We have dentists and doctors that haven't been paid from the state for over 2 years. And we're going to throw $100 million at these pork projects? No, I can't stand for it. I'm embarrassed to be a Republican when I read that.
And what about Powerball and Mega Millions? I mean, that's when a lot of people started waking up and said,
that's where we draw the line.
Well, that's when people realize we might have a problem here.
I want to go to a convenience store and give them money.
Yeah. A lot of people that woke them up.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about that?
Well, I don't want to get into that too much because I still think that the lottery and some of these things are just a tax hike for people who are bad at math. But this is free money for the state. Being part of the Powerball is free tax revenue for the state. So that is money that people are going to spend anyways. We might as well get our hands on it. But because of our fiscal irresponsibility, we have that organization that doesn't want to do business with Illinois. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's just another reason why we need to have a balanced budget. I mean, that's why I spent the last month in Springfield adding up numbers, working late nights, trying to figure out a budget. And the math is there. If we implement reforms, we can pass a balanced budget that doesn't hike taxes.
Well,
good luck, son.
From your mouth to first the ears of Republican leaders and then across the aisle to Democrat leaders, where I don't hold out much hope, but at least you're putting in the fight, and that's the requirement. He is freshman state representative Alan Skillicorn, Republican from East Dundee. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We're going to stay strong.
All right. Good to hear.
And he joined us on our senior citizen turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have zero tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
All Nissans are created equal. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. At Nissan of St. Charles, we go the extra mile to make sure your happiness lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Every new Nissan or used vehicle we sell comes with our exclusive Lifetime Advantage warranty. So when you get your new Nissan at Nissan of St. Charles, you'll drive with peace of mind knowing it's backed by our exclusive warranty that lasts the lifetime of your vehicle. Be sure to ask about our Lifetime Tire program. And this month only, Nissan of St. Charles is giving away a brand new Nissan Sentra. That's a new 2017 Nissan Sentra. Just visit Nissan of St. Charles by June 24th and register for our giveaway. Or visit nissanofstcharles.com for complete details. Nissan of St. Charles, located on North Avenue in the heart of St. Charles. Or visit us online at nissanofstcharles.com. Nissan of St. Charles. Experience the difference.
Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual saved me almost $800 when I switched my home and auto insurance.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, I got the perfect coverage for us, and I didn't have to worry about skimping on MS Party.
Oh, well, that explains the...
Howdy! Best birthday ever!
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
His eyes darted between the blue wire and then the red wire. Back to the blue, back to the red. A bead of sweat dropped from his brow to his hand, which grasped a pair of pliers. He took a deep breath, steadied himself, and cut both with one swift squeeze of his tool. The boy screamed as the doctor pried the braces from his teeth.
If this 20-second performance made you feel something, imagine what an entire Audible book can do. Visit audible.com to start your free 30-day trial.
You need to switch your cell phone service to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile was founded to support conservative causes while providing the same great nationwide cell phone coverage that you're already used to enjoying. Patriot Mobile allows you to donate up to 5% of your monthly bill to the conservative organization of your choice at no extra cost to you. Do what I'm doing. Do like me. Switch to Patriot Mobile and support the conservative agenda. Switch today and get a free iPhone with a $50 unlimited talk, text, and data plan, or a free Galaxy phone with a $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan. They will also buy out your current contract up to $500 per line. There's no catch. Call 800-A-PATRIOT, and Patriot Mobile will even waive your activation fee with promo code Joe. Or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Back to the drawing board for Democrats. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We showed the world that in places where no one thought it was even possible to fight, we could fight.
But it was a losing battle for Jon Ossoff in Georgia. Republican Karen Handel beat him. Winning the most expensive House race ever as Democrats hope to flip a red seat blue, a referendum on President Trump. Republican Ralph Norman also won a House race in South Carolina.
What I intend to help him on is to publicize the good things he's doing for the country.
Now, the president congratulated both winners on Twitter. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump taking a victory lap, tweeting Democrats would do much better as a party if they got together with Republicans on health care, tax cuts, security. Obstruction doesn't work. Democrats sought to make the recent special elections a referendum on the president's first 5 months in office, but that strategy appears to have backfired. In a tweet last night, the president wrote, "Well, the special elections are over, and those that want to make America great again are 5-0. Dave?
John, the president's son-in-law and advisor Jared Kushner is in Israel for a day of talks trying to restart the Middle East peace process, meeting separately with the Israeli prime minister and the Palestinian president. They've tightened security again in Belgium the day after a terrorist's failed attack at a Brussels train station with a bomb full of nails. He ended up being shot and killed by a soldier. On the first day of summer, as the Southwest swelters again, it could hit 120 in Phoenix. A tropical storm is churning toward the Texas-Louisiana coast.
This is not very typical-looking tropical storm with the heaviest rains well far removed from the center.
That's Richard Pash, the National Hurricane Center. Tropical Storm Cindy could dump up to a foot of rain on some areas stretching from Texas to the Florida Panhandle, and that could lead to flash flooding. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
64 degrees, mostly sunny skies at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Authorities are investigating a possible murder-suicide along the Chicago Skyway. A man and woman were found shot to death early this morning inside a vehicle near 88th Street. Media reports say a man shot and killed that woman before taking his own life. Chicago police confirmed they're conducting that investigation. The eastbound lanes of the Skyway continue to be blocked as crews clear that scene. The fallout continues over an email scandal involving the Chicago Water Department. City officials announcing yesterday that department supervisors Tom Durkin and John Lee Jr. have been placed on administrative leave pending disciplinary decisions. City's Inspector General launched an investigation after discovering what the Inspector General termed racist and sexist emails that were sent to members of the Water Department. Democrats running for Illinois governor panned Governor Bruce Rauner's latest speech on the budget yesterday. From Chris Kennedy to Amaya Pawar, they all dismissed the governor's speech from Springfield. Chicago aldermen making an urgent request to combat a recent rise in downtown violence. In an email sent out Monday night, Alderman Brendan Riley called for an overnight closure of the Ohio Street underpass beneath Lakeshore Drive. Blackhawks could be facing a big loss. According to Canadian Sportsnet, Chicago forward could be forced to retire and may do so due to an allergy caused by equipment he wears that has caused a progressive skin condition. There is medication to combat the issue, but the 38-year-old needs extensive blood work to see its effects. It's possible retirement may be the option. Cubs went on to blank the Padres 4-0 at Wrigley Field thanks to an Anthony Rizzo leadoff home run. White Sox suffered a 9-7 loss to the Twins in the opener of a 3-game set in Minnesota. The news service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Uber Technologies Chief Executive Travis Kalanick has resigned following pressure from major investors. A report from former Attorney General Eric Holder called for major changes at Uber. Uber is also now allowing tipping in some of its cities. Its competitor Lyft does have an in-app tipping option, and organizations representing drivers were demanding the change. Uber will start with tipping in Seattle, Minneapolis, and Houston. SoftBank, the Japan-based technology investment firm, is investing $100 million in Cybereason, the Boston-based cybersecurity firm. Futures are pointing to a lower open on Wall Street. Oil prices have declined with concerns about the global oversupply of oil. The Dow closed down 61 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped almost 51. S&P lost 16. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If
you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are, and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
8:07, let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest on your commute with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And after that early morning shooting, the Chicago Skyway is still closed eastbound from the Rhine Expressway to the Skyway Toll Plaza near 87th. 8094 has delays eastbound I-65 to Ripley, westbound Broadway to Kennedy. The Edens is 22 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 31. Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 50. About Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 49 minutes from Manheim, outbound 52 minutes to Manheim, an hour 13 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 1 hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State, southbound, it's the 132 to Atkinson, and from the Adams Tollway to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound, 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway heavy from the Fox River to Eola, and 83 to the Tri-State. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine for today with a high of 80. Then tonight, cloudy with a late night shower or thunderstorm. A low 67. Clouds and sun tomorrow, a breezy day. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. High of 90 and a low 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 68 at O'Hare, 65 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The big gay pride parade is on Sunday in Chicago.
48th annual Pride Parade.
So we were just talking last hour about how Chicago police pensions are projected to be insolvent, according to an analysis that one of the outlets that I publish did of the last 12 years of reports that the Chicago Police Pension Fund files with the State's Department of Insurance. Going to be insolvent by 2021. So in terms of where to spend scarce tax dollars, how about on rainbow crosswalks? You think this is a good idea? Permanent rainbow crosswalks are being proposed in Chicago. There's a petition that 4,000 people have signed so far. In Atlanta, where Mayor Kasim Reed proclaimed that this week the city will make its rainbow crosswalks lasting, following a petition that accumulated 22,000 signatures. So permanent crosswalks there, permanent rainbow crosswalks. New York, they're pushing for it there as well. Taxpayer-funded rainbow crosswalks. Liven things up a little bit. Spruce it up.
Spruce it up.
Huh?
Well, the origin of the gay flag, it started because back in the 50s, men would signal to other men that they were gay by wearing bright colors, orange or, pink, things like that. In case. But
thank you for that history.
Just thought I'd like to know.
Yeah.
But also, I live by Boys Town,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not all Cub fans. Some are Sox fans. And they already have, it's already spruced up. We already have, on Halsted, between Addison and Belmont, there are these gorgeous statues. They're bronze statues with the gay pride flag on them that are permanent. So I think that we've done enough to let people know that that's Boys Town.
You can always do more. It's not about Boys Town because it shouldn't be limited to Boys Town. That's very myopic in your thinking.
Should it go up north into Andersonville, which is the lesbian neighborhood?
Citywide.
Oh, they want to put the flag citywide. No, if you're going to put a flag down, put an American flag down. Come on.
No. The rainbow crosswalk. Look at this here.
Let me see.
Here. San Francisco's done it. Look at that.
Ooh. Oh. Well, is that in the gay neighborhood? Is this wrong that I'm even saying gay?
It's in San Francisco. Yes. The answer is yes.
Not all of San Francisco is gay.
No, I understand. But for Pride Week, shouldn't we do this?
No.
Is this a good idea? Because
my tax dollars are going to pay for extra police security because millions go to the Gay Pride Parade every year at Halsted and Broadway, and so that's where my police officers are going to be this weekend. And I'm not homophobic. I'm not. And I wasn't going to go to the parade, but now I have to go.
Of being.
Well, every time we seem to talk about gay issues, somebody always reaches out to me and lets me know that I sound homophobic.
Yeah. Well, so what?
But you know why I'm going to have to go to the parade this year? Because the Grand Marshal is my big boo from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. That's the transvestite.
She's from Chicago, actually.
Leah she plays a
DeLaria.
transvestite in Orange is the New Black.
No. She is just gay in Orange is the New. The transvestite is an African American woman.
Oh, this is a different person.
One. No, she's from Illinois. She's a comic. She's one of the first openly gay comedians to ever come out. But she's from Illinois, and she's going to be the Grand Marshal.
Okay, super.
I love her work.
Yeah. Here's an interesting kind of related story. So, just so you understand, let's see if you can follow the logic here. So, LGBT groups and others, they want to force Christians to pay for rainbow sidewalks and city streets around the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what using taxpayer dollars is. That's force. However, they don't want Christians to be allowed in the public square. The Department of Education invited speakers from two prominent conservative Christian family organizations to participate in a panel discussion on fatherhood held in advance of Father's Day last week. Tony Perkins from Family Research Council and Jim Daly from Focus on the Family. This was a day-long conference hosted by the DOE, Department of Education, how fathers can be engaged in their children's lives. But the Human Rights Campaign, which is an LGBTQ/RSMNOP advocacy group, said since those organizations and individuals oppose the redefinition of marriage, they should be disqualified from participating in a government-funded platform to voice their views on marriage and the family. So if you want to participate in a panel discussion hosted by the Department of Education, it's fine so long as you hew to the orthodoxy of marriage redefinition. So you're forced to fund something you disagree with, and you can't express your opinion in the public arena that you also fund.
Doesn't sound fair to me.
Sounds like what's happening on college campuses. And as we keep trying to point out, you can ignore it. You can pretend it doesn't exist. It doesn't affect you. right up until it comes to your neighborhood, right up it comes to it comes to your school, it comes to your workplace, and it's coming. So decide which side of history you want to be as recorded. You want to be recorded as having stood or having capitulated. Michael, in the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
So I am a gay man, and
Okay.
I'm a conservative gay man,
Okay.
and I just feel like in Chicago, especially Chicago, we have gotten so far away from traditional values that what's most important is what is perceived by the media and what the world perceives. You know, we have a silent majority within the gay community that is a huge supporter of Donald Trump and his movement, and also just conservative values as a whole. We are an alternative lifestyle for a reason, and there's certain things that within our community we've been lucky enough to have, but it doesn't have to be this over-the-top, always asking and begging for more and more and more. We are all, at the end of the day, human beings. It's great. If we choose a different lifestyle from other ones, it's fine. But we are the ones who are perpetuating the hate. It's not the Christians, because I'm a devout Catholic, too, on top of it. So I'm kind of an anomaly within the gay community. And with us moving forward, we just need to come to a point where none of this is important. We are here. We have gay marriage. We have equality. We are here. We don't have to keep beating it over people's heads. You don't see heterosexual people walking in the streets announcing, hey, I'm straight. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, I have friends that are gay that cannot stand the gay pride parade because they said that because of their flamboyance and what they do, we can't be taken seriously. Do you feel the same way?
100%. I mean, I've lost a lot of friends over this whole election because they don't realize like how important my Christian values are to me, and who I decide to be intimate with is my business, and it doesn't need to be on display for the whole world. You can be a gay man or a lesbian woman without it being your whole life. And, you know, conservatism has become a dirty word within my community, and I just find it very odd that most people in the gay community do come from a very conservative background. And I feel like they're fighting a losing cause because without conservatism, our world is going to be a very dark and dim place. And we actually become political slaves to the liberal party.
Yeah,
It's outrageous.
I'll tell you what, this is a refreshing
fascinating,
call. Michael, thanks so much for calling and speaking up. We appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
You too. Thanks, Michael.
Well, that's refreshing. Oh, that's nice. Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Hey, how you doing? I really don't care what color they paint anything, but if they're going to be doing these crosswalks downtown, I deliver eggs down there. People need to know that when that red hand comes up, that you get out of the crosswalk. Otherwise, you can't. Everybody's got these earphones on down there, and they never let anybody have a right hand turn on red. I don't care if it's got the rainbow colors or not. Look and see what
respect the crosswalk.
Yeah.
Up there, or if the red hand is up there.
All right. All right. Thanks for the call,
Don't
Chuck.
drop the eggs.
Yeah.
No.
Why don't you just stay out on the sticks if you can't handle life in the big city, Chuck? All right.
These broads around here.
Staying north of the cheese curtain, Dave and Racine.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes.
Maybe they should put some of these rainbow crosswalks near some of the Islamic centers and mosques and things like that. Little Islamic LPGA outreach.
Yeah, it's a good idea to engage to foment a dialogue, is what you're saying, Dave.
That's affirmative. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's good thinking there, Dave. Thanks for the call. Sean from Elmwood Park.
No, don't do it.
No, don't be worried, Amy. Just take it easy. I'm not going to touch the $65,000 for the Puerto Rican Museum. I mean, how much could a red turtleneck, a gold chain?
You're talking about my people, Sean. Easy.
I'm kidding. But listen, you know, to Skillicorn's point, and this is what you're listening now with the rainbow crosswalks. Everyone is a special interest. Don't you understand? That's what government's job is to balkanize us as a people. So they must make you a special interest. So they cut you in when they go down to Springfield and they raise everyone's taxes. It's in the name of everybody. See, that's what was the main point under Bruce Raunier's speech last night, which, by the way, Prof, you have an in with these people. Can you tell them to stop shooting him like it's the creature feature night? Don't shoot that son of a gun from down low, and don't put the camera so close.
I totally get it. I told you. I thought I said earlier. I thought I was Winston Smith watching a message from Inksock.
It was like Night Gallery last night. Just get him. He's got a face for radio. Anyway, it's always about separating us into different groups, homosexuals, conservatives, liberals, because that's how the coup d'etat happens. Because what they don't want you to understand is the 1% of our society, it's the government worker. That's the 1%. The ones who get to sit up when they're 50, and we keep paying regardless of what they did with their money. It's outrageous, and we've been overthrown. Run from Illinois, run to Florida.
Thanks, Sean.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, let's get to it. Plenty of sunshine today, a high of 80 degrees, 70 degrees near the lake. Tonight, a chance of a shower, thunderstorm, and then tomorrow it's going to be breezy, some clouds and sun, but warmer, humid, a high of 90. Let's get into the alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here's the big boss, Jim Delamonte.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Eastbound Chicago Skyway, it is still closed. Has been for hours now after an early morning shooting. That closure is on the eastbound side from the Ryan Expressway to the toll plaza. Edens Expressway is fine inbound, 19 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, but outbound 34. The Kennedy, 38 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound it's 50. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Just had a 4-car crash reported, though right at the Burns Circle. Outbound it's an hour, post office to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 46 minutes. The Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15. Tri-State, southbound slow 132 to Atkinson, and from the Adams Tollway to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound from 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Adams Tollway stop and go lead to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial from Boughton most of the way to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, if you haven't bought a MyPillow yet, why not? Maybe you've seen them in the store, but the radio deal using my name, Amy, as a promo code is a much better deal. It's the best deal available. And in June, you'll receive the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for half off. You can move the fill to give you the support you need, regardless if you sleep on your back, your side, or your stomach, and you won't wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And our friend Mike Lindell makes them here in America using only American labor. Wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, don't you know? There's a 10-year warranty on these bad boys and a 60-day money-back guarantee. In June, get the 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again, and feels like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe,
natural and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com, andro400.com, or call 888-400-0435, 888-400-0435.
Hey, school's over, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop thinking about where you want to send your son or daughter to school next fall. And if you thought that you couldn't afford private school, think again. Go to halfpriceschools.com. There's dozens of local private schools that are offering a full year of tuition at half the price, hence the name. There's no catch. Halfpriceschools.com. Go on now. You'll find private schools in South Holland, Kankakee, Elgin, Shanahan, Antioch, Westchester, just to name a few. But don't delay. Summer won't last forever, and these vouchers always sell out. Go to halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitor's closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender who talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T 4358 and MLS 19186.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. The intellectual descendants of Diogenes can continue looking for the elusive honest man in D.C. Jim Comey ain't him. Instead, it's the likes of Jim Comey who've led Americans to lose faith in the federal government's police power. And it's the likes of Jim Comey who've led Americans to legitimately conclude that the rule of law has been supplanted by the rule of men. Even Comey's concessions as to his repeated cowardice was of the calculating, I'm no hero, humble brag variety. Comey is a career DC political character with no character. Comey is the scheming Lothario from a tawdry daytime soap who, instead of sexual conquest, seeks to seduce others for their esteem. His situational ethics leave him awash in contradiction, but who notices or much cares in a town ripped from the pages of a Gore Vidal novel? Despite his prevarications or moral pliability, or perhaps because of them, Comey can now take the meeting notes from his Hello Kitty dream diary that he did not disclose and cash them in for a 7-figure book deal to finance more romantic weekend getaways with the missus. Another happily ever after Beltway fairy tale.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, add this to your There's No Justice in This World file, Amy.
Yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis announced that he is quitting acting and The Rock will continue to act.
Wait, why? He's such an anomaly. I mean, he's such a talent. Why would he want to retire? Is he sick?
No.
Or you just done?
He's a little bit eccentric, and he just released a statement through a spokesman that he will, quote, no longer be working as an actor. He is immensely grateful to all his collaborators and audiences over the many years. It's a private decision, and neither he nor his representatives will make any further comment on this subject. If only President Trump could be so disciplined on such topics. Of course, for There Will Be Blood and Lincoln, My Left Foot. He should have won an Academy Award for In the Name of the Father.
Everything he touches is gold.
He should have won an Academy Award for Age of Innocence.
Mm-hmm.
You check out, if you haven't seen him in The Boxer, check out that.
Okay.
This guy's awesome. So I hope this is a little bit of speaking of boxing, like a fighter retires only to make the comeback out of retirement. I hope he at some point decides to come out of retirement. We'll see.
And to go from a talented actor to a no talent, Kim Kardashian.
I thought you were going to talk about The Rock.
No, Kim Kardashian. They're having a third child. She and Kanye West, who's from Chicago, but they're doing it through a surrogate. I don't think she wants to get fat.
Which Kardashian is going to be the surrogate? Khloe?
No, Kim Kardashian is married to Kanye West, who's from Chicago.
No, but which Kardashian is going to be the surrogate?
Oh, no one in
Khloe?
No, they're hired an outside person.
Who's going to be the surrogate father? Lamar Odom? Are they going to?
I mean, that's so sick when you have that much money. You're just going to hire a surrogate. I want to have a baby, but I don't want to get fat. So
But
I'm going to hire somebody to carry it for me.
Are they going to outsource both sides of it, though?
Oh, I don't.
The male and female roles.
I don't know. We'll find out. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Noah Rothman about yet another attempted terrorist attack in a European capital, this time in Brussels. That's at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 64 degrees, mostly sunny skies in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Tropical storm Cindy taking aim at the Gulf Coast, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana, even Texas, issuing states of emergency ahead of the storm's impact. In a news conference yesterday, emergency officials are reminding those on the Gulf Coast they can expect up to a foot of rain over the next couple of days. President Trump celebrating the Republican wins in 2 special elections last night, congratulating Karen Handel for winning Georgia's 6. Trump also congratulating Ralph Norman for his victory in South Carolina 5. Uber CEO and co-founder Travis Kalanick resigning, the head of the ride-hailing service already on a leave of absence, following several scandals that include allegations of rampant sexual harassment throughout the company. Authorities are investigating a possible murder-suicide on the Chicago Skyway. A man and woman found shot to death early this morning inside a vehicle near 88th Street. The fallout continues over an email scandal involving the Chicago Water Department. City officials announcing yesterday that department supervisors Thomas Durkin and John Lee Jr. have been placed on administrative leave. City's inspector general launching that investigation after discovering what they termed several racist and sexist emails that may have been sent. Investigators in Champaign County this morning say they're looking into 2 more deaths at the county nursing home. Coroner Dwayne Northrup saying his team is investigating a deadly fall and another death. That's in addition to investigations from a February suicide and the June death of a memory care patient. Anthony Rizzo, a leadoff home run. Cubs go on to blank the Padres 4-0 at Wrigley Field. White Sox suffer a 9-7 loss to the Twins in the opener of a 3-game set in Minnesota. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the easy-to-use AC Pro refrigerant with pressure gauge and quick connect hose is just $33.99. So keep your ride running longer, stronger, and cooler all summer long with AC Pro refrigerant. 8:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
My legs were awful.
I always felt uncomfortable and self-conscious.
I had never been real happy about the spider veins in my ankles and my legs.
I started noticing fatigue in my leg.
I was so self-conscious. Then I went to Vein Clinics of America.
It's time to love your legs again. Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I found the Vein Clinics of America and look at my legs now.
You just feel like, you know what, I want to do so much today. It's such a big difference.
My experience with Vein Clinics of America was amazing.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for summer. Call now to schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Call 800-402-0707. 800-402-0707. That's 800-402-0707.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies, and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Skyway is closed eastbound from the Ryan Expressway to the Skyway Toll Plaza after that early morning shooting. On the west side, Madison is now blocked. And Damon at Wood for this weekend's NHL Draft and Fan Fest. The Edens runs 19 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, but outbound 34 with delays from Peterson to Willow. Kennedy inbound 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 36 from Montrose, 30 in the Express, outbound 48 to the airport. And on Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, 49 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes from 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State stop and go from 21 to 176, and from the Adams Tollway to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound from 111th to the Hinsdale Oasis, from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Partly sunny and 80 degrees today. Cloudy with a shower or storm late in the evening. 67 for a low. Breezy, clouds and sun tomorrow. High near 90. Currently 68 at O'Hare, 65 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't miss The Summer of Trump, hosted by Joe Walsh and featuring Hugh Hewitt and Guy Benson, August 22nd. Go to 560theanswer.com/summer to get your tickets.
Kick this segment off right. Let's do a ticket giveaway. Lyle Eyes to the Skies Balloon Festival is taking place June 28th through July 2nd, offering daily hot air balloon launches, nightly balloon glows, tethered balloon rides, live music, fireworks, a carnival, and much more. To learn more about this year's festival, please visit eyestotheskies.org. And right now, be caller number 12 to 312-642-5600. You can win a pair of tickets to Eyes to the Skies.
All right. Updating a couple of big stories. One, the death of Otto Warmbier and the response of the United States. 2 bombers flying over the Korean Peninsula yesterday. Sort of a message sending, a shot across the bow, if you will. B-1B Lancers conducting joint drills with the Japanese and South Korean Air Forces, which were meant to show solidarity among the 3 countries and send a message to Pyongyang. In addition to that, just some more hypocrisy from the left. A magazine, Affinity Magazine, that promotes the idea of amnesty for persons in our country illegally, trashed Otto Warmbier after his death for not following North Korea's laws, particularly with respect to...
leave poor family alone. I mean, last night they had the most gorgeous memorial service for him at University of Virginia, and his frat brother, spoke glowingly about him. His girlfriend was there. I mean, it was just, they told more of a jokester. They always made fun of him, self-deprecating humor he had about his music taste, and he would collect ties from thrift stores, and you really got to know who he was.
Well, the left's response. I mean, I concede your point with respect to Warmbier and the idea of not speaking ill of the dead, particularly when you're doing so in a de facto fashion that is defending a totalitarian regime that routinely murders people, Americans and others, and their own people.
I'm always going to be of the belief that he was murdered by North Korea.
Well, he was.
Yep.
And it's just jarring to see, if you decide to go to North Korea, then you have to respect their laws, wrote the Affinity Magazine. Otherwise, you better stay home. Well, it's probably a good idea not to go to North Korea. But that notwithstanding, the idea of blaming Otto Warmbier for being murdered by a repressive state is from really breathtaking, and it's pervasive on the left. I mentioned an op-ed that Noah Rothman wrote in Commentary magazine yesterday, where he talked about the left's kind of Rawlsian view of distributive justice, and I respect anybody who can work John Rawls into an op-ed. And he did. Yeah,
and President Trump spoke yesterday about Otto.
Otto is a disgrace what happened to Otto. It's a total disgrace what happened to Otto. That should never, ever be allowed to happen. And frankly, if he were brought home sooner, I think the result would have been a lot different. He should have been brought home that same day. The result would have been a lot different. But what happened to Otto is a disgrace.
In a related story of totalitarianism, another attempted terrorist attack in another European city. That's 3 in 3 days. London at the Finsbury Mosque, which was formerly the base of the most notorious Islamic radical cleric, Abu Hamza. This was the individual, Darren Osborne, who drove his car into a crowd of Muslims. That's one. Then you had the attempt in Paris yesterday. A car filled with explosives rammed a police van in Paris along the Champs-Élysées. And then yesterday...
Thank goodness no one was hurt in that.
Right. And then yesterday, a guy did blow himself up, although he was shot, and tried to blow up a train station in Brussels and injure people.
Yeah, and he was yelling Allah Akbar. He's a 38-year-old Moroccan man who came from that same neighborhood where the Paris attackers lived in Brussels.
Molenbeek, right.
Molenbeek.
And Mark Steyn was on with Tucker Carlson last night talking about how one-way multiculturalism is working out for Europe.
What's happening in Brussels, as in Paris, as in other European cities, is a reflection of extraordinary demographic changes. Brussels is now 25% Muslim, and we think that is entirely normal. We think, oh, it's good to be multicultural. If someone would say suddenly that Riyadh, in the space of nothing flat, had become 25% Flemish, we would think that was very bizarre. But one-way multiculturalism, as we see in Brussels, is accepted as a feature of life.
For more on these topics, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Noah Rothman, Associate Editor of Commentary Magazine. Noah, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Why don't we start with Warmbier? And I referenced some of your comments in your piece yesterday, but the responses continue pouring in, and the left is just kind of doubling down on their, I guess, hate directed at Warmbier.
Yeah, I had not seen, these were comments that occurred mostly, the one you cite is recent, from a particularly radical online venue directed at millennials. But the comments that I had referenced in that piece were from the period in which we learned of his capture.
Right.
And they had everything to do with the fact, some were more blatant about it than others, some were a little more veiled, but all used the notion of privilege, suggesting that the individual here, a fraternity brother, a pledge, who was in North Korea on a trip, who was alleged to have stolen a poster, therefore justifying his sentence to 15 years of hard labor in a camp, at which point he was apparently tortured to death, was somehow justified because of the fact that the individual in question believed himself to be above the law. And why was he above the law? Because of privilege. Now, some people were clearer about it than others, but the social justice phrase is white privilege. And that was actually made very explicit in the Huffington Post piece. It is the social justice notion, which is antithetical to the concept of objective justice, that there is some retribution due to individuals who are perceived to have accrued historical benefits by virtue of their accidents of birth, particularly white, male, heterosexual people of Western origin. And that which befalls them is justified by virtue of the fact that they were born into certain privileges as a result of their heritage. It is, for lack of a better word, prejudice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Racial prejudice.
Well, so do you think people feel better thinking, oh, you know what, he was white and he was rich and he was in a fraternity, so it's okay that he died. I'm not going to let this bother me or ruin my day?
Well, I'm not going to say that these people share the idea that he should have died, because we don't know. The Vicinity magazine clearly doesn't care at all. but the individuals who made these comments did so upon his capture. So they clearly didn't care that he was sentenced to 15 years in a Korean gulag, which, if they knew anything about the Korean penitentiary system and its imprisonment of its people, its whole families, and the treatment and the torture they endure in those camps, they wouldn't have shared that opinion. But out of ignorance, they just probably assumed it was just a penitentiary. It's not. And what they assumed was that this individual who behaved stupidly, and he did behave stupidly, somehow deserved his torment because of the fact that he was white. There's white and male and American. There are currently 3 other American citizens in North Korean custody. They are not white Americans. They are Americans of Korean descent. This didn't seem to occur to any of these individuals who decided that this guy felt himself to be above the law and therefore deserved his treatment. The North Koreans capture Americans in order to ransom them. And that's just, again, more ignorance. But because they applied this template of prejudicial thinking, which is the social justice template, the belief that you are due some retributive justice because of your accidents of birth, is extremely noxious, and it's something that's pervasive on the left. Well, and one of the reasons, in my belief, that they're suffering the electoral rebukes they are because of their identity obsession.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. Of course, they make exceptions with respect to this privilege. I mean, if he had been an op-ed writer for Mother Jones, I'm sure they wouldn't be saying the same things. But that's just it. I can't necessarily quantify it, but it seems to me, not just with the special election in Georgia yesterday, it's interesting to see the reaction from the left in kind of quote-unquote intellectual spaces like Vox.com, where Matt Iglesias has a piece kind of talking about we need an agenda and we didn't have a response to the Republican plan to replace Obamacare and things like this and a jobs program and all that. But the real problem the left has that they don't want to confront is this culture of hate that pervades it. And it seems to me even those with qualms about Trump are not willing to sign up for the loudest voices that are defining the left.
Yeah, I mean, we can sort of dissect this and find whatever narrative we really want out of a special election. I'm hesitant to draw broader conclusions of the state of the electorate based on this one election, or even several that have happened over the course of 2017. But what is isn't all that surprising is the fact that Republican voters voted against a Democrat. Karen Handel outperformed Donald Trump by a significant margin. She won by 3.8 points. Donald Trump only won the district by 1. Barack Obama lost in this district to Mitt Romney by almost 30 points. So this is a very Trump-skeptical district. It's still Republican by 9 points, according to the Cook Political Reports Partisan Voting Index. So it's a GOP district, but it's affluent, it's suburban, it's well-educated, and it's not Trump-supportive. Marco Rubio won it in the primaries. So this was not a place where you can expect to see the normal narratives about Republican voters who are, and we're seeing a lot of Democrats soothe themselves with this notion that Republican voters are these ignorant white supremacists, alt-righters who would never vote for a Democrat in their lives. That's bunk, nonsense. This is a place that had the potential to flip, but Republican voters don't want Democrats to control Congress. And so they didn't vote for a Democrat in order to advance that prospect. And they're just making distinctions between Donald Trump and the Republican Party still. Who knows if that's going to last for a while, but that seems like the simplest explanation.
Well, do you think Democrats will ever regain their footing in Trumpville? I mean, do you think the midterms this is a clear sign of what's going to happen in the midterms?
Yeah, I really do, because, I don't know about the midterms. The midterms I don't know whether or not Democrats are going to make a comeback in 2018 or 2020, but I mean, the history of this country is a series of pendulum swings. Eventually, Democrats will regain their footing. And what we saw actually in a subsequent district in South Carolina, a significant swing away from Republicans and towards Democrats. That was a district that is rural, pretty much blue collar, a lot of minorities, and it was a district that had gone conservative since 2010 and to 220 points or more. Very conservative district, and no money went there. This was not a focus of a national race because they considered it to be a Republican district, an easy Republican win. And it wasn't. It was tighter than Georgia 6, actually. So it was more like the control group. It didn't have any interference from outside forces. And that tells me that there is a significant swing to Democrats. And Democrats only have to take 24 seats in order to retake the House. There are that many Republicans representing districts that Hillary Clinton won in 2016. So Republicans are not out of the woods yet. But Democrats are very demoralized today. And searching for reasons for why they're demoralized, I don't think it's really necessarily due. It seems like fretting over something that is not necessarily an indicator of something much more broad.
Well, I mean, okay, but let's apply the same caution that we applied to the Handel race to the Mulvaney special election as well, which is to say these are local races often, that the quality of the candidates matters, the dynamics are different district to district across the country. And I still go back to say there is something that the left has that I think is going to turn out to be problematic, and that is the culture that they're embracing on college campuses that is bleeding into the arts, that is bleeding into larger society, including into people's workplaces. And that is a problem in addition to maybe what Iglesias is talking about without a particular policy agenda that's unifying. And that's to me is more of the hurdle that they're going to have to clear, that they've got to wrestle with internally than anything being proposed by the Republican Congress or said by Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. The complaint on the left that I've seen is that Jon Ossoff, the losing Democratic candidate, didn't spend enough time talking about Donald Trump. He wasn't nearly as apocalyptic as the Democratic base is, and that's why he didn't improve his margin from the first tally, the jungle primary, in which he won 48.1%, and would have been the congressman if he won a majority of the vote, and he won 48.1% of the vote today. And that, again, strikes me as kind of, self-defeating and diluted. Just as similarly, the notion that you can pour all this money in this district and wake up voters and knock on every door and expect Democrats to win is also insane. This is a Republican district by 9 points. If you're knocking on every door, you're knocking on Republican doors. You're getting Republicans involved in this election, and they're going to vote Republican. And similarly, if you were to spend a whole lot of time harping on Obamacare and how the AHCA, the Obamacare replacement, is cruel and unusual and horrible, and you need to get out and vote in order to save Obamacare, you're going to remind a lot of Republican voters why they vote Republican in the first place.
Right.
This isn't necessarily a district that's going to resent the idea of repealing and replacing Obamacare. So again, there's more a lot of soul searching here, but I think it's an effort to avoid, on the part of Democrats, some of the causes for their loss in this particular case.
He is Noah Rothman, associate editor for Commentary Magazine. Noah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Shopping for a new car can be a real pain. It can be intimidating, exhausting, and even make your blood boil. Nobody wants that. What you need is a dealer that helps you get the best vehicle for you and your family while skipping the high-pressure nonsense. That's where Joe Cotton Ford is different. They'll help you find the new Ford car, truck, or SUV that fits your lifestyle and your budget with no hassles, no drama, no pressure sales tactics, period. And that's why Joe Cotton Ford has won the Daily Herald's 2017 Reader's Choice Award. For the 4th year running, they've been recognized for the best auto service for a domestic auto dealer in the region. Now that's a place you want to do business with. At Joe Cotton Ford, you have their word. Your satisfaction is their top priority. Get to Joe Cotton Ford and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV today. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. That's joecottonford.com.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. MyPartsGarage.com is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory. Your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state, next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Right now, MyPartsGarage.com will price match your order, and yes, the shipping is still free. The last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find parts. The average driver in Chicago commutes at least 24 miles per day. People are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed and free shipping.
Hey, did you know that the cell phone you're holding right now is likely supporting the liberal agenda of Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders? It's true. Most of the big cell phone companies contribute to the pro-abortion agenda, gun control, and open borders. That's why you should use that cell phone in your hand and call 1-800-A-PATRIOT to switch to Patriot Mobile, the nation's only conservative cell phone company. Patriot Mobile offers the same great nationwide coverage you're used to, the newest cell phones, and they'll even buy out your current contract with credits up to $500 per line or $1,500 per account. And when you switch to Patriot Mobile, they'll donate up to 5% of their monthly proceeds to the conservative cause of your choice at no extra cost to you. You can bring your number and your phone or get new ones. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT right now to get a plan and device that fits your needs, or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe. Use promo code Joe and they'll waive the activation fee. 1-800-A-PATRIOT or patriotmobile.com/Joe. Promo code Joe.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I've got the perfect place for you. Visit my friends at Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler in downtown Libertyville. Roland's Jewelers has a beautiful selection of engagement rings, and they're a direct diamond importer. That means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. Roland's is also the perfect place to shop for an anniversary or birthday gift. Roland's offers a large selection from designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., John Hardy, and Roberto Coin. Their knowledgeable and friendly staff can show you quality Swiss watches like Tag Heuer, Michel, and Longines. Roland's Jewelers is well known for excellent customer service. These guys are the best, including custom designs and jewelry repairs by their expert craftsmen. Let Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville make all your special occasions memorable. Visit RolandsJewelers.com. It's ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com, or call them 847-918-7300. Roland's, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Sunshine and 68. Bond denied for a Chicago man charged with the killing of his 3-year-old daughter. Chicago alderman calling for the closure of an Ohio Street underpass. WIND Chicago news time is 9 o'clock.